Let me ask you this, of all the people that you've ever interviewed over the years, how many people would you say you've interviewed?
40,000.
40,000.
That's what they figure 40 years, about 1,000 people a year.
40,000 guests. Now, who was the physically ugliest guest you ever encountered? The ugliest.
Ugliest.
The Elephant Man. You ever interviewed the Elephant Man?
No, we tried.
He was ugly.
But we didn't do. We almost had Siamese twins once.
Really?
Didn't do them.
You're saying Siamese twins are ugly?
They were connected at the head.
And that
would have been difficult.
Not attractive to you?
No.
Would you marry a Siamese twin?
Now stop that. I didn't come here to be insulted.
No, but...
All right.
So you never interviewed the
I'm
Elephant
trying to think if you asked... No, I did not interview the Elephant Man. I'm trying to think of the ugliest man I have ever interviewed. The ugliest man. Who's the guy who produces Saturday Night Live?
Lorne Michaels.
That's the man.
Yes, I've met him. He is
hard to look at.
Not easy on the eye.
No, not. It's hard to interview people like that.
Not easy on the eye. So you're saying, Larry King, that you find conjoined twins ugly?
At the head, yes.
At the head, they're ugly.
At the hip, they're not ugly. But at the head, well, it's grotesque.
It's grotesque.
Don't you think it's grotesque?
No, I find all humans beautiful.
Larry, that's why we love you.
In a recent interview, Jane Pauley recalled how back in the 70s, she coined the phrase bad hair day. In another recent interview, Larry King recalled how back in the 70s, he coined the phrase bad face day.
We should go our separate ways, but now you're back.
Can I tell you a great story about Norm MacDonald?
Go ahead. Norm Kenny?
I don't know what the story is. Oh, it's the dog story in Vegas.
Here now is a dog story about Norm in Vegas. Go ahead.
It's the greatest story in the history of the world. Norm's in Vegas, and they give him a massive suite because he loses about $11 million a minute.
Yeah, and that World Series of Poker kind of stuff, right?
That was well before that.
Okay.
The World Series of throwing away your money.
Oh, and now for the World Series of throwing away your money, here's Norm MacDonald.
And he has an associate named, can I give her name?
Sure, yeah.
No, Lori. I'm not going to give her whole name.
Lojo.
Okay, so we got her whole name. And she's adorable.
And her family's listening.
Right. And she has a dog a little bigger than my tennis shoe. And so we're going downstairs so Norm can lose some money. And Lori leaves the dog in the suite. When we come upstairs, the door is open to the suite. Mm-hmm. And it's impossible to get in unless you have a key. So obviously the dog had opened the door and left because he was fed up waiting. And the entire inside of the suite was on the floor. Wallpaper, lights, pillows, stuffing, everything.
Yeah.
And the dog was downstairs in the jail with people, with other guys, with drunks and stuff. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth.
Norm, is this true so far?
What?
Norm, is this true so far?
It is true, and then what happened was there was a band of gypsies in the next room.
Don't hear that name in here.
Yeah, they're lurking at the outskirts of town, but they must have gotten this suite because they pretended to trip down an escalator or something, and they were going to sue Lori Joe's dog for emotional distress.
The gypsies.
Don't you love having to go downstairs and bail this dog out like you would a gambler or someone who tried to steal? The dog was in jail.
Is this your dog?
And they have video of the dog in the jail cell trying to escape.
I've seen the suite. I mean, I can't even... The wallpaper doesn't come off a wall in Vegas. He took the wallpaper off, and he had watched everything he could watch on television and left.
What kind of dog is this, Norm?
I don't know.
It was a boxer.
What was that dog?
Wow.
Because you know how boxers know how to... They throw up their hands, so he was able to open the door from the inside.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Where did the gypsies come in again?
They were living next door.
Oh,
they were trying to sue everybody.
All right. So the gypsies were living next door.
You don't believe this story, and it's 100% true.
Well, Norm, I believe. I don't believe Super Dave. I believe Norm.
The dog got loose in the hall and traumatized a gypsy child.
Well, what happened is the gypsies a gypsy child opened the door, and the dog was walking down the hall with a couch.
A gypsy child. Hey, where's my couch going? Who's got my couch? That dog's taking my couch. Oh, my God.
You know what was great right before the show went on?
Too much sugar.
He laughed at something that I said, and a thing came out of his nose like Niagara Falls.
No, don't tell people.
No, I'm not telling him. I'm just telling him.
But the
And
folks
we
at
had to
home don't
bring
need
in
to
a
know that.
towel to get it off because
was a big towel.
Like, oh, it was
huge.
I was going to grab it with my hand.
It was like the towel.
so
It was like the
big.
towel they handed Louis Anderson after that dive.
No,
it was a
but
big
the
towel.
The folks don't need
I'm
it.
not going to say that ever again. I
Don't
apologize.
ever
I
say that
apologize to both
again.
of you.
I mean, it's sticky lie.
Yeah, it really
Okay,
is.
go ahead.
Norm used to say the same thing to me every time, and it made me laugh every single time he'd see me. He'd walk up and he'd go, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. You're on a show. And it's a big show, but don't tell me, don't tell me. And your last name's Collier. Hold on, don't tell me, don't tell me. It's a show, and you're on with some kids, and that's it. That's all I got. Your name's Collier, right? Every time he would say the same thing to me, and it made me laugh because I know I'd seen Norm coming, and I'd go, "Here he goes." He said, "Don't tell me." As soon as he said, "Don't tell me," I just couldn't stop laughing.
I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go of everything in the past. I'm scared of letting go.
You know him as Super Dave Osborne, but we've been brothers our whole lives. People don't realize our last name is actually Einstein. So Dave Einstein, Bob Einstein, you're Dave, I'm all right. Bob, what are your memories of Dad and the radio show? Because Mom didn't think it was funny. And
Our father was a wonderful man. He was the first man that I ever saw actually going to work with banana peels actually in his slippers. It was a wonderful, wonderful trick. I tried it years later. It never worked for me. That was the brilliance of our father.
You kept falling down.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, it was just
He
one
could
of those,
ride a bike with the bananas in his slippers.
He could do anything with bananas, and that was what our mother loved about him.
I always thought it was the cheese. I thought she loved the cheese.
Well, she did. She loved cheese. She loved bananas. She loved cheese on bananas, and I think that is one of those moments that I really don't want to touch. That's really, I think, between our parents.
You're probably right.
Hey, what about this? Super Dave has been on the phone with me.
Super Dave
backstage.
Osborne?
The great Super Dave Osborne.
Yes.
And he's been on the phone while I'm trying to get ready to come out here.
Yes,
he keeps phoning me.
That's what he does.
And he goes, this is what you do. You walk out. You're wearing a pompadour. You just look at Jimmy. You don't say a thing for 5 minutes.
This is why we never invite him back anymore.
He says, let me ask you a question. It's 4th down and 1. You're at the 1 yard line. You have the choice. You can head it to O.J. Simpson, Jim Brown, or Emmett Smith. I'd go with Rosie O'Donnell. Then you got Kirstie Alley in the hole and Wendy O. Williams behind her. Wendy O. Williams is the...
Wendy O. Williams. He's a punk singer or something, right?
No, I think he meant Wendy Williams. But he said, Wendy O. Williams is the lone second. I think he was a little confused.
I know it's time to close my eyes to old ends, open up to new friends, leave my heart in Berlin, where the tables turning, seeking out the new vibe, running streets at midnight, cities never sleeping. I am in Berlin, Berlin.
Yeah,
noticed lately, everybody has an opinion. And when I was young, it wasn't that way, People would have maybe, 6 opinions, Sometimes you meet a guy, he'd have 8 opinions. You'd go, God damn, that guy's opinionated. At a veterans hospital in the Bronx yesterday, 4 Playboy playmates were on hand to wish the residents a happy Valentine's Day. One veteran who was there called it an afternoon of, quote, hellish, agonizing sexual frustration. And finally, first place in Weekend Update's most romantic Valentine contest goes to David Delafera of Kearney, New Jersey. And coming in last place for the 3rd year in a row, O.J. Simpson. Hey everybody, my mother and I are here to tell you some Valentine's Day jokes.
Where did all the hamburgers take their girls on Valentine's Day? The meatball. How does a phone propose to his girlfriend on Valentine's Day? He gave her a ring.
40 years ago, on Valentine's Day, I met a girl on a train. She had dark hair. It smelled of lavender.
What did the girl cat say to the boy cat on Valentine's Day? You are perfect for me. If you were a triangle, I bet you'd be a cute one.
She was rich and I was poor. Her family had a cabin of their own and she took me to it. I remember laying on her cot and washing her feet.
What is the difference between the girl who is sick of her boyfriend and the sailor that falls into the ocean? One's bored over a man and the other is a man overboard.
Ultimately, her father didn't approve and in the middle of the night I was escorted away by his private security. But every year I go to that train station and I look for that girl. I've never found her.
Knock, knock.
She had a small dove tattooed to the inside of her wrist.
You're supposed to say, who's there?
Who's there?
Olive.
Olive who?
I love you.
You kissed your math teacher in Canada?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 7.
On the lips?
Yeah, on the lips. This is what happened. Nobody wanted to be my Valentine.
Oh, no.
We had an odd number of people in our class.
So you went up to her?
So I got molested.
Dream date with Norm. Who wants a dream date with Norm? Why sit home alone? Just pick up the phone. For your dream date with Norm.
Warning, when Norm comes to your house, he will look nothing like this. Do not operate Norm while intoxicated. The producers are not responsible for Norm's behavior.
Are those your jokes that you wrote today?
Yep.
Okay.
Been cracking them out.
Okay. I am going to prove something right now. Read the jokes to me.
I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, and if it's a fish, I eat it.
Meta.
Yeah. So.
I hate meta. Some people keep trying to get me to do meta comedy, so there you go.
I heard a joke.
Yeah, there you go, Norm. You got it.
That was a take by the night monkey.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead, Norm.
No, I'm terrible at telling jokes, but a guy, he gets a genie or something that gives you wishes in a lamp, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, oh, no, that's not it. He goes to his whole head is a giant pumpkin. That's how the joke starts. Mm-hmm. It's like a giant pumpkin, and then his friend goes, what happened? He's like, I found this genie in the lamp, and he gave me 3 wishes. And he's like, what happened? He goes, well, the first wish I wished for like $100 million, and I got it. And then for my second wish, I wished for like a beautiful lady, and I got her. And the guy's like, yeah, but what happened? He's like, the third wish, that's where I really blew it. And the guy goes, what happened? He goes, I wished for a giant pumpkin head.
You guys got it. Really, put a CD out together.
You know what I really hate? You know what I really hate? If you go anywhere with him, like for a couple of days, he does that on purpose. He'll tell jokes with no ending on purpose.
I don't think you need one. Sometimes you can tell a joke like that.
And then that happens.
You don't need to have a joke.
You want to read a joke? Sure. You read them so good, but do you like his meta jokes?
He's a deep guy, you know. He's a young guy that's still finding themselves, so he's meta.
How many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? The question cannot be answered because Polish people are so fucking stupid that no matter how many of them are available, none of them would ever be able to complete that simple task.
This is a meta joke. Have you aware of these meta jokes?
How many comedians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to do it, and the other guy to go, how long's he been up there?
I like that.
On stage.
Yeah, because they was going,
how long?
This is the post-punk comedy. Now, this might be too...
He's not one of those sabotaging guys that's afraid of success.
No. No, this is a new type of comedy that may be a little advanced for the likes of you and me. To tell you the truth.
Try to take
I think that's what it is.
He had to do what's called anti-comedy?
Anti-comedy or meta-comedy.
Yeah.
Anti meaning the opposite.
Before we begin, I have a quick public service announcement. Would anybody, please fuck Martha Stewart?
Oh, I get that one.
What?
I don't understand that.
What?
That's weird, right?
Too soon.
It's meta.
Meta.
Do you like the meta comedy?
Meta world peace comedy.
Yeah.
Only comedy I like.
Your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap! I don't get that. That so fat she did something.
Well, it's kind of an anti-joke.
It's a literal, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know these new meta jokes?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, she's so fat, you expect a joke, but then she's just so fat.
I get it.
If thinking that women are not funny, emotionally irrational, and less intelligent than men makes me sexist, then yes, I am sexist. Another meta joke.
Is it?
Sort of.
Boy, was it hot outside today. I went out to buy a California Pizza Kitchen signature pepperoni frozen flatbread, and by the time I got home, it was perfectly cooked and entirely eaten. 100% true.
Oh, you ate it. See, I love the laughs. It's just kind of weird, right? Some of them are odd. I'm not going to lie to you.
This is a joke.
Well, some of them.
But this is a joke.
I think technically.
Like an observational joke?
I was thinking that the new comedians, like Jim Gaffigan, what is it called when you say a joke and then refer to it?
Oh,
Some sort of
I don't know
meta.
what it's called, but yeah, everybody's just.
What are they doing?
That.
Explain what they do.
Well, what they do is they're basically saying what Jim does is he's telling you what the audience's reaction
So give
to
an
that
example.
joke is. So it's like
The joke. It's not the joke part isn't important. You can talk about the Care Bears, but you just say the.
Okay, so he's like I like Samuel. Something the punchline Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, I don't care for him. He's not a good actor. Something like that.
Sometimes beauty's distracting too. Like Halle Berry, she is so beautiful. But whenever she's in a movie, I find it hard to follow the plot. Like when she was in Monsters Ball playing that poverty-stricken woman, the entire time I was watching the movie, I was like, well, why doesn't she just become a model?
But isn't that he said he was commenting on his own act, not on Samuel L. Jackson?
What he's. Oh yeah, but he's talking about why does this? All right, so he'll be talking about like cheeseburgers. I love about mini muffins is you can eat fucking 12 of them. Oh, he just keeps talking about food. Why is he talking about food so much? He does that.
And now this has become a kind of a standard since.
Since he did it, it's like everybody.
Try and be a good dad. I sat the older three down and I explained to them that the new baby does not mean I love them any less, but I will have to let one of them go. So if anyone knows of a toddler rescue, maybe we could get Sarah McLachlan to do the commercial. I don't like that joke at all. Why would he put that joke in this special? 4 kids. Bedtime is a crisis. That's why I'm here right now.
I saw Gilbert do that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Where he was his own father.
Yeah.
Watching his act.
Yeah.
How did that put on a pair of glasses.
What kind of a joke was that? He didn't answer it. I don't understand that he does the fingers fighting with each other, and that's a joke.
I've been doing that for years, way before they had a name for it.
I had no idea.
He would say a joke, and then he'd put on his glasses, he'd be his father, and not care for the joke. Right?
That's brilliant.
What do you have to say now?
I mean, I'm not a good,
Anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
Gilbert is not looking at your slow burn that you've been trying to perfect.
It's not, I mean...
Oh, I know what you're excited about.
Yeah. 1 week.
One week until what?
Till my 1 year of sobriety.
Yeah, he is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it.
No.
But but the good thing about it is you've been sober for almost a year.
Yeah.
And in 1 week you get a chip.
Yep.
It's an amazing fact that you've kept sober, because I understand people go back to the booze when they have trouble with that.
It's tough. Thank you for noticing. It is tough.
We work hard, but
it's exhausting work. But we try and have fun. We keep it light. Like last night, Brent and I pulled that prank on you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, well, it was a little funny.
Not funny at all.
I beg to differ. We have video.
Beg to differ is a thing that mostly gay men say.
I think it was a hilarious prank.
It was a stupid prank.
It was funny.
The classic. He's going to put the shaving cream on his hand now. And now I'm going to go in with the feather.
Yeah, you swallow that, you fucker. You drink that down. You don't fucking spit that out. Yeah, you like it, you fucker. Drink it. Fucking swallow
What
that
the
fucking...
Week away, no?
Huh?
I was a week away.
What about you and your stupid fucking shaving freak, fucker? You think I like the taste of Anyway, there's more. We got more video of you. What is this? This is you.
4! I gotta call my sponsor.
We got a sponsor?
No. My sponsor, Argus Hamilton.
Oh, that's guy. Your sponsor.
Yeah, my sponsor. Fuck that. Is there any more of that vodka left?
No, you don't want vodka. Come on, man. One day at a time.
Oh, fuck that shit.
One
It's too late
day.
for that.
I don't know. Do you think it's cocaine?
Yep.
Well, you're partly right. It's cocaine, and it's also a lot of baby laxative. So you might watch it. It burns like hell.
Just give me a couple.
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a man allowed his 8-year-old daughter to take the wheel of his car, and an accident ensued that damaged 7 other cars and injured 6 people, which once again proves my theory: women can't drive. New medical research shows that men and women have different food cravings. Men preferring meat and women preferring sweets. Scientists trace this back to caveman days, when men had to go out and hunt for food while women sat on their fat asses eating chocolates. A A celebrated fertility statue, which many believe has the power to make women pregnant, began a nationwide tour this week. The hundreds of women who claim it caused their pregnancies are of different ages, races, and religions. But they all have one thing in common. They are all dirty, dirty whores. A new book claims that Madonna once smeared peanut butter all over John F. Kennedy Jr.'s body and then licked it off, which just goes to show you Madonna's a whore. In other show business news, it has been reported that superstar Madonna is pregnant. Although personally I find this a bit hard to believe. I mean, Madonna isn't even married. It's like crazy. And finally, Weekend Update would like to congratulate Madonna, who gave birth to a beautiful baby girl last Monday. The baby weighed in at 6 pounds 9 ounces, making it the 4th largest object ever to pass through Madonna's birth canal. I like that Madonna's baby thing.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
Oh,
you know, it's, I really have to give it to that guy that's the father, you know, Carlos...
Leon.
Carlos Leon.
Or Carlos Leon, I forget which one.
Because you got to have a lot of guts. That means he had sex with Madonna without a condom. Yeah. That's great. Pop singer Madonna was outraged this week when a tabloid photographer snapped her picture while she was breastfeeding her new baby. Apparently, the baby was blocking her nipple. Well, filming has finally begun in the long-awaited life story of Evita Peron, starring pop singer Madonna. According to its producers, the film is 100% historically accurate, except for the part where Mrs. Peron has group sex with the Houston Rockets. Texas millionaire J. Howard Marshall may have died 2 months ago, but as we see here, he and wife Anna Nicole Smith can still enjoy a romantic evening at home. Former Playboy centerfold and Guess jeans model Anna Nicole Smith collapsed this week after she suddenly realized that she actually had sex with this guy. And finally, in entertainment news, ex-Playboy centerfold Anna Nicole Smith has filed for bankruptcy. And saddest of all, she slept with this guy for nothing. Well, the Learning Annex in New York is offering a new course to teach women how to smoke cigars. The fee to enroll in the class is $100. The fee to watch the class is $200. According to a new study from Yale University, in order to duplicate the physique of a Barbie doll, the average woman would have to grow to 7 feet, add 5 inches to her bust, and trim 6 inches from her waist. So ladies, you have your mission, now get to it. Hollywood prostitute Divine Brown has written a book describing in lurid detail exactly what she did with Hugh Grant. The book sells for $25, but for $35 she'll show you. Former British cavalry officer James Hewitt, who was Lady Diana's secret lover, says he will never, ever disclose the contents of more than 100 love letters that she sent to him. This, according to Hewitt's new book, I Banged a Princess. Under a new ordinance, exotic, nude, and topless dancing will be banned in any establishment selling alcoholic beverages in the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, or as I now refer to it, the most horrible place on earth. Exotic dancers say a city ordinance requiring them to keep 4 feet away from their customers will put them out of business in Shoreline, Washington, or as I now refer to it, Nazi Germany. In sports, distance runner Uta Pippig set a record by winning her 3rd consecutive Boston Marathon, despite suffering from both her period and diarrhea throughout the 26-mile run. In addition, Pippig also set a record for causing the most spectators to make this face at a Boston Marathon. Well, Jocelyn Elder's new book, Jocelyn Elder's MD, came out this week. I read it. After closing out a successful first season, the WNBA is considering several changes to improve the level of play in the league next year. Among the proposals, extending the playoffs, increasing salaries, bringing back the three-point line, and replacing all the female players with guys. The WNBA officials expanded to 10 teams this week, adding franchises in Detroit and Washington, D.C. But before you get too excited about the new additions to the league, remember, all of the players are still women. They stink at basketball, that's the problem. Other than that, it'd be a good, good game, but they're...
The next time I watch a WNBA game will be the first time I watch a WNBA game. Hey, WNBA, I got an idea that'll sell some tickets. Shirts and skins.
It was a bad week for the restaurant chain Hooters. The company has been forced to pay $3.75 million to settle a sex discrimination suit brought by male job applicants who claim that its policy of hiring only women is unfair. The settlement was hailed as a landmark case for guys who try to ruin everything. According to a new survey by the Women's Vote Project, women would be more likely to vote if they could send in ballots by mail or if polls were open longer. Also, more women would vote if you were permitted to bake your vote. They like to bake. Safer drivers, men or women? Well, according to a new survey, 55% of adults feel that women are most responsible for minor fender benders, while 78% blame men for most fatal crashes. Please note that the percentage in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman. For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do. No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
I've watched so many hours of his stuff, and I've met him, and he was like this comedic bar. Like, hey, we got Norm. There's so much shit comedy. Then you see Norm, and you're like, this is next level. This is savant type shit. And then to lose him is like, Norm had 20 more years at least of just content and thoughts and his point of view. And we'll never get that. And that sucks. He's just one of those guys who describes the most basic shit that we all know, but it's funny because he points it out. Like his Letterman set, the last Letterman, when he goes, Germany decided to attack the world, and you're like, that's so true. And then he goes, who do you think you are, Mars? I mean, it's just so funny, those little things where he's just telling you facts, and it's funny. I met him once at the Comedy Cellar, and we chatted for 5 minutes, and then he went on and did the Letterman set that he did. He was running the Letterman set, and sweet guy, nice guy. I didn't know him that well, but I mean, he's just brilliant. And I also love a brilliant guy who does stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. That's a fun little combo there. Like silly guys who are actually brilliant also. He was the king. He was the best. I mean, if you could play the chairman of the board thing is probably his crown jewel in his panel.
There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
because he had so many great panel moments. The moth joke, all that shit. But
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office. Right?
You are correct.
But the one with the SNL, because a lot of comics like, I don't give a fuck. I say what I want. This is the ultimate not giving a fuck. He goes on, he gets fired from SNL. He gets rehired to host years later. He's like, really? Okay. He's always hated them because they fired him. So he comes back and tanks the whole show in the monologue and then just does the show.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later. But okay, so let's recap. The bad news is I'm still not funny. The good news is the show blows.
He's my hero.
I love him to death.
Fun, maybe one of the funniest guys on the planet. Dave Attell, Norm, in that. There's something about those two.
National treasures.
I agree, and the fact that he's not like the biggest comic of all time is weird.
Well, he is to us.
I guess so.
The comics, I mean, he's not the biggest, but the comics, he's on. The Mount Rushmore keeps getting bigger.
I know.
Four heads is not a good enough amount.
You gotta stop using that thing.
Yeah, it's a bad thing to say, the Mount Rushmore, but in the Hall of Fame.
One of the funniest guys on the planet, one of my heroes, huge influence on me. I've seen everything. I watch his YouTube probably every other day. I just put it on.
When I first met you and I saw you, I was like, oh, he's doing like a Jerry Norm thing.
Yeah, completely.
Seinfeld and Norm.
He had another special in him. He's great on podcasts. I just wish he made more. And I mean, look, he's got a lot of stuff out there, so I'm getting greedy. But I think he's one of the funniest people. I mean, no one sounds like him. Amazing jokes, great takes, brilliant comic. His gambling stories on Howard Stern are incredible. I read his book. I've seen everything he's done. This is
Dirty Work is a great comedy.
I love Dirty Work. I met him once at the Cellar, and I got a photo with him, and now I'm so glad I did. He did Last Comic Standing. He was the only honest judge. He would tell comics they were hacks. It was awesome. The comics hated him. Joe List did it, and he goes, Joe, you're a very good writer. And Anthony Jeselnik goes, hey, Joe, that Norm just called you ugly, which is such a great line. He would come in, and he would bomb a lot. He would have jokes that the audience would be like, oh, he had this one great joke. He's like, something, women are bad drivers. And they went, oh, and he went, well, I want you to know a woman wrote that joke. And they went, oh, and he went, I'm kidding, we don't hire women. You're like, yeah, that's a comic. Come on.
He just kept teasing him.
That's a fucking combo. He went this way, that way, then that way. I mean, he's the best.
Who are safer drivers, men or women? Well, according to a new survey, 55% of adults feel that women are most responsible for minor fender benders, while 78% blame men for most fatal crashes. Please note that the percentages in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman. For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do, do you? No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
He's like on another level where he's invented certain things I never knew. Like he's taken comedy to this higher point, which I didn't know existed. I wish I could come up with an example.
He's another guy too that still does real comedy. Like when he goes on stage, he's fucking ballsy.
Yeah,
he swings.
Right.
You know, like,
right.
And he gets confused if everybody's mad. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Just a joke here, folks.
He keeps it real.
I've got the board. It's spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Falls out of the chair. I mean, come on. That is unbelievable.
Epic moment. I wish they let the laughs go a little longer.
Yeah.
They shortened it, but yeah. Incredible.
You know, as a comic, we've all been in that moment where they're like, what do you got now? I mean, you handle hecklers all the time. You're swatting flies all day long. When you think of that line.
When Conan challenges you and you deliver, it's pretty damn cool. And
then to have that line, and he nailed it. I mean, to put that much pressure on you on TV and nail it, I mean, it just proves that he's on another level. B-O-R-E-D. Come on, to pull that out of your ass, that is something. And then the delivery, he's so excited. He's like a 10-year-old. I bet it's called B-O-R-E-D. It's like, oh, it's so funny. God, I missed him already. Ah!
Damn. Brutal.
Thank God we have all the footage at least, but Jesus, we'll never get anything new.
I mean,
you don't have to pull this up because it's long, but there was a radio show, like a morning show, like you have to do on the road for press, and he's doing one, and he's like, well, black people, they're poor. And the lady is like, oh my God, how can you say that, Norm? That is so racist. He's like, I'm reading the newspaper. I'm watching the news. I'm looking at the stats. They're poor. And she's like, oh my God. And all these black women call in. They go, Norm's right. We're fucking poor. It sucks. And he's like, you see? It was such a great moment.
925 says, okay, Norm, come to my 5th grade class. I dare you.
Well, where does she? Is it? Are there black people there?
Oh my God! Where's the 925? Why is it harder if there's black people there?
Because black people are generally poor, and poor people are generally dangerous.
Oh my God!
Wow,
I can't
Norm!
believe you just went there.
What? Black people are rich?
Black people span all the strata.
No.
And you're saying
you
that
gotta check your
are
statistics.
Poor and,
no, black people are poorer than white people. You didn't know that? Are you telling me that you think black...
What I'm saying is that I try not to pigeonhole people into black people
truth.
Are poor, not into the truth. Listen, there's a huge ignored middle class black population out there. How dare you say black people are poor and therefore dangerous?
Because I want them to be not poor, that's why.
And really, how are you what's your plan?
My plan is to, first of all, admit that the black people have less money than white people. Because we live in a racist
our phone
society.
number is 800-400-FM97. If you'd like to talk with Norm MacDonald, I'm sure he'd love to take your call
Absolutely.
right now. Michelle, you're on the air.
I just wanted to say that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And you need
that black people are poor? It's hilarious.
The teacher thing, and
Oh.
you need to probably act like you're not offended by that, because first, you don't have a right to act like you're offended, and that was funny as hell. He is right about black people being poor. You know it. I know it.
Oh,
and the
my
black
God,
people know
what
it.
has happened on this show?
Well, he taught us a lot today. I think moms...
Oh, it's a learning show.
Mom's an easy job.
Where have
Teachers
you guys
an easy
been
job.
living for the last 300 years in this
Steve,
country?
you're Paris. You are on the air.
I think that is completely untrue.
Go on.
Not all black people are poorer
Amen.
than
Sister?
white.
Oh, I didn't say that.
That's what you
No,
said.
you said
I
black
said
people
black
have
people
less money
have
than
less
white people.
money than white people.
You've
Yeah.
been to West Virginia? Because there's some white people with no money there.
Well,
exactly.
Well, okay. You're saying one black person has more money than one white person.
What
True.
about Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, what about Eddie Murphy?
You're
Yeah.
saying by and large,
No, you're right.
if you
You're
break
right.
it down.
You're right. Yeah, of course, black people have less money than white people.
As
not
an average.
true. Not all black people have less money than white people.
Oh
but he's
my
talking
God.
in okay.
Oh my
We all
God.
get what he's saying.
Listen. Guys in wheelchair. There's a guy in a wheelchair that can go faster than me in a race. But if I said guys in wheelchairs are generally slower than me, come on.
The way you said it was so harsh that to
Give
say...
your head a shake. Give your head a shake.
Oh, my God. All right, thank you. Hey, it's Danielle from Big Brother. Famously black woman.
Where's my 40 acres and a mule? I need my 40 acres and a mule. But you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
Go on, Danielle.
I mean, if you think
School
about
us.
it, there's been cases where the same person will apply for a job, and at times the other race gets the higher pay. I'm just keeping it real, folks.
All right, thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. I'm saying that having
Try
less
to offend everyone equally.
having less money or or not having less money is not a product of your nature. It's that you don't have the money because the white people don't give you the money.
It's actually supportive of black people to say that, actually.
707
Of course
says...
I'm supportive of black people. I'm in a room of
You're saying
racists.
that to have justice,
Oh,
we should
my
all
God.
have
The 415. Do you want to keep him for the next segment? At this point, I'm not sure. I'm finding Norm to be somewhat on the offensive side.
You know what, though? I love that he's saying all this stuff and then looks over with a big smile.
I know,
and
big smile. He's like, oh, man, they're going to talk about this all day.
Well, I didn't know that everyone. I thought San Francisco was a little more open than.
No, San Francisco actually
They're
isn't.
racist?
No, they're not racist.
Well, so far, by the way, most people have agreed with me.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Norm and his babysitter Steve will still be here, offending people left and right. Stevie Ray from
We're
Steve.
not offending anyone but racists.
How do you figure? To make a sweeping generalization that belittles
It's not a sweeping generalization. It's a statistical fact, and it belittles no one. It only states a fact that I hope we can change in this country. If we're going to pretend that black and white people make the same amount of money, then nothing will ever change. Come on, you know that.
Can't we just see it as everybody?
Well, we can see it any way you want it. If you want to
Sarah's
pretend.
looking for some
If you want to live in a fantasy world,
and you're not going to find it.
No, there's not a clean out.
You're digging.
I'm breaking.
You're digging deeper
we'll
and deeper.
be back.
What kind of computer do you have?
It's a Mac, Norm. It's a Mac.
Mine's a Dell. I like a Dell.
I know, we covered that. There's one piece here I thought you might find interesting. Is Joan Rivers. You were talking about some old
Joan
comedians.
Rivers.
She's old.
She's old, but she's great.
Just kidding.
Still great. Yeah, still great. But she makes her living, lambasting celebrities.
What'd she do?
She
lamb what?
Basting.
Lambasting?
Basting. Celebrities and
we might want to put a hard thing over the A.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's
I'm trying to rush through this. We don't have a lot, and I.
All right, we'll spell it all phonetically from now on.
I did that with one of the guys' names here.
Okay, we'll get to it.
She lambasted the Adele.
I love
the
Adele.
British
You ever
pop
heard Adele?
singer Adele.
I heard of her, and I
voice like a
great pipes.
She has great pipes.
And lungs too.
Oh, she's a good singer. Yes.
And lungs too.
Rivers would only work if she was a pipe smoker. What? Okay, good.
Anyway, Joan Rivers, she called Adele, who's 24 years old, chubby while visiting David Letterman on The Late Show.
Oh.
And wisecracked. She sang live and said, my throat, I don't know if I can swallow. And I said, oh, you can swallow.
Oh, come on.
What is her song? Rolling in the Deep? She should add fried chicken.
This is what she said on Letterman?
This is what Joan Rivers said on Letterman about Adele. Rivers didn't back down from her comments, though she revealed Adele confronted her about it. She's a chubby lady who's...
Okay, I don't want to hear any more of this. Because Adele is one of my most favorite people.
Really?
Well, she's talented, she's rich, and she's almost as fat as me. I like, I'm a big fat guy now. And I don't want to be seen with thin ladies, Then people will think it's... But, look, I know it's wrong to objectify women. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But in our sexual fantasies, I think we do, as men, objectify women, don't we? I always think of Adele, like down on her hands and knees with an apple in her mouth.
So, but that's better?
Better than what?
That's objectifying her.
Yes, I'm saying I think we do that as men.
Okay.
We objectify women, don't we?
Yeah.
What? Don't we? I like Adele. Is there anything wrong with that?
Hey, I like the ladies.
I like Adele. I like a woman who knows her way around a funnel cake.
I thought the joke was...
What about Josie?
How about the joke should be, Adele is mad at Joan Rivers and crushed her. Tipped over and fell on her. Hey, don't mention that name.
I would love to see Adele in concert.
Oh, I thought it was a sexual...
Oh, no. I'd also love to see her on my toilet eating a Reuben.
No, I like chunky women because they're accessible. I don't have crushes. Oh, the Playboy centerfold. Ooh. I like to fantasize someone either I've been with or who tells me they're wet.
Kathy Griffin.
And they're fat.
Yes, because
So you're like me, but you're thin still.
I got a gut.
You got a gut, isn't it weird? Because I used to be thinner than... I'm not thinner than you, but about the same.
I know, we never thought we'd go, is this fat-free? Or well, I was so skinny growing up, not a joke, but I used to want to go to... My fantasy was I'd go to sleepaway camp, be 300 pounds, and no one would recognize me. It's really sucked being skinny. It was no joke. I'm being serious.
Maybe if you're thin, that's why you're attracted sometimes to fat women.
No, you know what the thing is? Now it's cool to be thin. You're a brooding Rick Ocasek animator. Yeah, you have your head. You know what I mean. Now it's cool.
Nowadays, it's cool to Rick Ocasek?
Still hip.
I'm like this dad who he's 60 but he thinks he knows references. I could mix it up with the kids. I know Marilyn Manson and I know about anime.
Holy shit! Your dad knows about anime?
No. My friend who's 60.
I went to see an Adele concert.
And there was only room for 3 people in the back.
Oh, come on.
Meaning she takes up the. Oh. No, But that's what he does. He makes Chuck's outrage and then he does fat jokes.
No, I'm not doing fat jokes.
Well, he genuinely would like to see
all I
you.
said was I went to see an Adele concert.
Oh.
And what's the
There's no joke. It was disappointing.
Why?
Because she sang a song and the concert immediately stopped.
Why? Because of the occupancy limits?
No,
That was one of my
it's not over
thrills.
till when the fat lady sings. I think.
I thought it could be 80 or more people is dangerous and unlawful. And I thought, meaning
Oh
she
my
took up 80
God.
of them.
You are something else. I thought.
It's like with comics, it's like you have to love doing what you do and actually do it.
You're so
you know what I
right.
mean? Like you can't just like
Like
be lazy. That skates by for when you're naturally funny, you can be lazy at first, but eventually you got to get your shit together and work. It's,
A lot of people don't know that you're on the road like 300-something days a year. You're doing stand-up.
I was trying to, B.B. King told me he did 320 days a year. Big man, with, and he had to prick his fingers. Everybody used Lucille. So I said, I'm going to try beat B.B. King. If he can do it, I can do it. But I never got past 300 I did last year.
But it was kind of a lot. Wow. You're like the Jay-Z of stand-up.
These broken pieces I hold in my hands don't have a chance to mend at all. Before they get thrown into chaos again, I try to pretend I'm whole enough to stand in this world so unsteady.
I'm going to go see Howard Stern and talk to him on the radio.
Oh, what's going on, man? Anything new?
Just what I told you. I just fucking told you.
So you just here to hang out?
No, I told you word for. You have it on tape. Why are you asking me?
So you're here to talk to Howard?
I'm here to. What did I say? I'm here
Anything
to,
in particular, though?
No. There was an article about Artie.
Oh, in Rolling Stone. Oh, that
thing. Oh, you know about this shit?
Yeah.
You read the Rolling Stone article and you
It's
thought
the
you'd tell us?
fucking weirdest fucking thing I've ever read in my life.
Do you think it's a negative article or do you think it's a positive article?
That's the best article he's ever read about.
They had an age-old debate about this fucking article.
Well, let me ask you something.
This is the only art. Listen, if you read an article about an entertainer, I think this is history. This would not. I have never read an article about an entertainer where the entertainer is described as a liar. You don't see that like if they're doing a piece on fucking Elizabeth Taylor.
Right.
Not only is Elizabeth Taylor lie to people. What? You go, what?
But let me ask you
I thought I was reading about a fucking comic. What?
Norm, let me ask you a question. There's a school of thought, which I share,
Yeah.
that, Artie's book is about his
And
drug.
then he goes, and then she goes like, there's other shit where she goes like, he's a fucking guy that's like, kind of like these two dead guys. Andrew Dice Clay, obese, tragic clown. Like, that's a phrase. There's no phrase with obese in it. I've heard tragic clown. She tries to throw that in as if that's the phrase.
Well, I know Artie.
Obese, tragic clown.
And then I'm like David Sedaris, which is great.
No, all of a sudden she goes, I guess I'll make him a fruit. What the fuck is that? First,
So you didn't like the article?
he knows because he knows.
Understand it.
What? I didn't like the article.
You didn't like the article?
It's the fucking worst article I've ever read. This ain't no puff piece. Listen, let me tell you about. You know show business.
Yeah.
You got your puff pieces.
Yes.
And then if it's not a puff piece, what is it? Inevitably,
It's a
hatchet
shitty-
job.
Yeah, hatchet job, right.
Fucking hatchet job.
But let me ask you something.
This is horror.
You're working up Artie into a sweat, but can I give you the opposite point of view?
He's just funny. I think he's funny.
Norm.
Not that funny. I don't think it's shit article.
Artie is in Rolling Stone, which is exciting.
Yeah, because they come and they go, hey, man, we like you. Hey, I know these motherfuckers. Hey, we
Artie
like you. I mean, they're obviously not going to go, hey, man, we're going to fucking call you an obese clown. Here, can we take your picture?
Do you ever,
By the way,
did this ever happen to you?
Artie, why do you have a fucking sign saying no photography fucking equipment allowed in my apartment?
The picture was not good in your opinion? Yeah.
No, the picture, I don't mind.
Norm.
Norm MacDonald is threatening Seth Simons on the.
What does he say?
So Seth Simons goes same energy, and he posted a picture of the Joker and Donald Trump, which is like,
shut.
God.
Oh my God!
You
fucking loser!
And fucking Norm MacDonald wrote, "Hey, you fucking piece of shit. It's you that's the Joker, a failed stand-up that kills someone who got a TV show. I cannot wait to meet you, and I will."
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
That
is awesome. Norm's just like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck.
After numerous requests, the National Institute of Health has finally granted funds to the University of New Mexico in order to test mice for the deadly hantavirus. Although I'm sure the government would have acted a lot sooner if instead of mice, the hantavirus was killing off rich white guys. And in Brunswick, Maine, an outbreak of the deadly canine parvovirus has led to the local Humane Society killing many of its dogs. Gee, I wonder if the Humane Society would kill off victims of canine parvo if instead of dogs, they were rich old white guys. Wildlife officials in Maryland say that increased hunting will be necessary to control the state's black bear population. Gee, I wonder if hunting would be the answer if instead of overpopulation of black bears, there were an overpopulation of rich old white men. Yeah. Yeah. Then I wonder.
This is cool. So the news, we're going to talk about
That's
the news.
right. So we have business news. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg is facing a $1 billion tax bill this year. Now that's
He pays $1 billion in taxes?
in tax. That's a lot of money.
Good problem to have, right, Tom?
That's not bad.
God damn.
Absolutely. $1 billion.
$1 billion, that's more than my dad made in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This guy's carping about that. How old is this guy?
I don't know. I think he's in his mid-20s, maybe? I have to look it up.
And most of these, I feel these rich kids are unknown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's known because of that movie.
Yeah.
But I think most of them, I think that these super billionaire guys keep themselves unknown so we don't find out and go to their house.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
He's
you
probably not the real, he's just sort of like the, there's much bigger billionaires.
You think
than
there's
these
bigger
guys? Oh, I think they're living on an island somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
just running everything.
Because when you hear about it, how much money the richest guys have,
Yeah.
nobody, I know Sandler, he doesn't have nearly that much money. You know what I mean? And he's the richest guy, and he's super rich.
Yeah, if you had, you probably don't want to make a big show.
No.
Yeah, they probably have the cure for cancer. They're probably selling all the, all the drugs that we're all taking, all the drugs. They're selling all that stuff. They got all the cures. They're living on an island. Plus some of them are
Well, those are the mother that fucking introduced crack into my neighborhood last month.
Do you have a crack problem?
Well, now I do, because those fuckers introduced crack into the neighborhood.
Really?
And what they don't tell you about crack is, god damn, it's good.
Yeah.
You said you'd rather play Frogger than have sex.
Oh yeah, well you have to know Frogger, you know, it's a game. It's an arcade game where a little frog has to go across the river.
Yeah.
And they have like little logs that he has to, and sometimes the log's a crocodile and tries to eat him.
You're like totally into that?
Yeah, I like a lot of things better than sex. I don't care for sex that much.
See, that's the thing with me too, because I'm totally bored. I don't have any. What's the matter?
Yeah. It hasn't like gotten better over the centuries, you know. It's always the same thing. It's very like I had sex when I was young man, and then I had it for a while, and then I realized it's kind of always the same thing, you know. There's only a few things you can do. You can go like this and then over, you know what I mean? You go, I'll do this for a while and then...
Do you think that we're being drugged by the government to lose interest in sex?
Oh, no, I just think it's a thing that, like, you know, when people go, hey, you know, that guy's he's good in bed, you know? And to me, like, how hard is it? You know? It's not like if you're good in badminton or something, you know, that's a hard thing, badminton. You gotta, and Frogger, you know? But sex, you can figure it out in like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, and like goats do it and stuff. You know, like goats and pigs and stuff all do it, so
Right.
how special can it be?
Exactly. Show me a goat that can get past the 3rd level of frog.
That's right, Nora! That's right!
You bring a girl home or a friend over, and there's no place for what?
I don't have sex with girls or men.
Wait a minute. Norm MacDonald. Norm, you're a sexy dude.
Yeah, but I don't have.
And you never go out trolling.
I mean,
and no
I have
girl.
had sex.
Well, I
Well, you
realize
have a
you're not a
kid.
virgin. You've
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
kid.
No.
When's the last time you had sex?
Probably 10 years ago.
Shut up.
Yeah, I have sex. I have sex like by masturbating. And,
Yes.
Yeah, but I find sex very repetitive and dull and kind of pointless.
Your kid. This is a bit.
No, it's not.
Norm MacDonald.
I had a lot of sex when I was a young man. When I was 19 or 20, I had a lot of sex, and it's just the same thing over and over.
Right. It feels really good. So start from the beginning and do it again. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Is it too much work dealing
Eating
with a
ice cream.
chick, or-
Eating ice cream is really good too until you're tired of it. You know.
And the next day you try a different flavor. There's thousands of flavors of ice cream.
But not of women.
Do you go to hookers ever?
No, I've never been to a prostitute.
This attitude you have could be said for anything, though.
I know.
For
Anything you
anything.
do
For
more than once.
anything.
Yeah, well, I don't do very much.
You just don't like people in general.
Yeah, you hate people.
Or you hate women.
Oh no, I'm fascinated by people and by women. I'm just saying I don't need to.
But don't chicks throw themselves? I would think that after a show you're hilarious, and
Well,
some
to tell
chick is
you
like,
the
listen,
truth,
I've always
I
been
find.
fascinated.
Tell you the truth, I find sex to be a very filthy act.
Are you a germaphobe?
No, I don't mean
fluidophobe?
filthy. I mean filthy in the sense of shameful.
Really? Were you raised Catholic?
No.
Oh.
He's doing a bit.
No, I'm not doing a bit.
I find it really hard to believe you haven't had sex in 10 years.
I think I think that sex is shameful and that people have sex knowing that it's shameful. And again, it's like death. They just live in this fool's paradise where they pretend it's not. I mean, obviously, people don't have sex in public, so there must be some shame.
Some
to it.
people do.
But it's
It's because you don't want to be caught in that compromise. You know, you're not exactly
it's compromising,
at your most
exactly.
attractive when you're having sex. There's all these.
Well, there's social
contortions
norms.
and-
You don't go
So it's a
to the
shame.
bathroom in public either, but I'm not
Exactly.
ashamed of that.
Exactly. What?
I'm not ashamed of going to the bathroom. It's part of taking in to stay alive. You have to evacuate. I'm not ashamed of that. That just comes with the territory.
Of course, and you have to ejaculate too. But I evacuate and ejaculate in private. I don't do it. evacuate in front of another person.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you're not ashamed of it. You do it in order to...
I am ashamed.
But he is
of
ashamed of it.
That's why
what
I do
he's
it
saying.
alone. Do you evacuate in front of people?
No, but I'm saying
why
I'm
do you
not
eject?
ashamed. It's just not polite. It's not
Because
a social.
it's something that you share with somebody else. I mean, are you? Is it a fear of intimacy? Do you not let anybody too close?
No, I'm not afraid for that.
You got me going crazy, crazy, yeah. You got me going crazy. You got me going crazy, yeah.
Now, what was this thing they did on Extra about you and Elle Macpherson? You guys had an affair or something?
No, that was all nonsense.
Was it?
Yes,
Yeah,
'cause
sure.
he's a married man.
You know,
Right.
She came to the show, and she's like very flirtatious to everybody.
Right.
So then somebody started this crazy idea that.
And she's very bright, so you get attracted to a very smart woman who's good looking, right?
She's bright?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, right. So you're saying that Elle Macpherson was on the show as a guest. She's a gorgeous woman. She's beautiful.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I don't have I'm not like you. I don't have like a real high sex drive.
Right. You don't really?
No, not at all.
Well, that's something to advertise.
Yeah. she was flirtatious, and were you like sort of being flirtatious with her? You had to be attracted to her.
No, I wasn't attracted.
At all?
I'm not attracted to like
girls
that much. I used to be when I was young.
And you're not gay? Maybe those paint pellets were telling you something, pal. I'm telling you right now.
No, when I was young, I used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're still a young guy.
You do have sex with your wife, don't you?
Yeah, I have sex with my wife. Yeah.
How often? Like once a week?
Well, the thing is, like with my wife, we have sex because we know exactly what to do with each other. But if I was with somebody else, I'd have to,
I don't believe this for a minute.
No, I'm serious.
I've never met a guy who said this.
But how often do you have sex with your wife?
I've never met a guy who says your sex life doesn't, your sex drive doesn't, you don't have a low sex drive.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Does he masturbate?
Do you masturbate?
Oh, yeah.
You do. So then you have a high sex drive.
For myself.
No. So when Elle Macpherson is running around in a little short skirt and she's looking gorgeous, don't tell me you're not thinking about doing her. And don't, I mean,
no,
you are.
I swear to God, I'm not. I think,
Really?
No, I've been to the doctor about this.
Really?
Yeah,
You've gone to a psychiatrist?
No, a physical doctor.
Because you're saying, hey, I don't get aroused that
a
much.
urologist. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But wait a second. Mentally, you get aroused, right?
Is he having trouble?
Are you having trouble getting aroused? I'm telling you, you're gay.
No.
Wait a second. You're telling me.
No, I can masturbate as much as anybody.
Okay. No, not as much as me. Yeah, believe me. Don't take that challenge.
He has more free time, I bet.
Wait, Norm, I don't understand something.
What?
You went to a doctor, you said, hey, what's with me? I'm around Elle Macpherson and I'm not getting aroused.
I didn't mention her.
Yeah, but and you start to get concerned that, hey, why am I not getting aroused around these beautiful women?
Yeah, because I used to always get aroused all the time, no matter what. Like I could see a giant fat woman, like part of her ass.
Right, and you get excited by that.
Yeah.
Are you on medication of any kind?
No. I just now I'm just.
Do you need that testosterone patch or something?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, it makes you more masculine. You know what I mean?
But then your hair falls out.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Wait, explain something to me.
What's
are
that?
you putting me on or are you being serious?
No, I'm serious.
You're being serious.
It's hard to tell him.
You're saying, no, I think he's a straight ahead kind of guy.
Oh, I'm serious.
You know, I mean, I've only met Norm once, but.
I would love to talk to the doctor.
Right. Well, actually, I met you twice. I met you backstage at Letterman, too. So you're telling me, let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You got concerned because you're around a lot of beautiful women and suddenly you weren't getting as many erections as you used to.
Right.
You go to the doctor, he checks out your weenie.
Oh, he checked out my prostate.
Right. And was anything wrong?
Was anything wrong? The only wrong thing,
yeah. Well, no, really. There was nothing wrong.
Nothing. He said, like, can you masturbate?
Same thing we asked.
Yeah, so I go, yeah, sure, I like doing that.
Right, so, and your wife and you have sex, what, once a week? I have sex.
Wait a minute. So, Norm, what do you think about?
What?
When you're masturbating.
What do you think about?
Well, like...
Fat woman's ass? No. Like, who do you think? Did you ever think about Elle Macpherson?
No.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Who do you think about?
I don't think
girls
about...
you just met.
I'll tell you something. I can't think about, like, girls that I don't think I could have sex with, because I don't have that good an imagination.
Right, it's got to be someone you think you can get.
Right.
That's how I am.
Right.
So,
and so sometimes I think of like kind of unattractive girls when I'm
right. When you're doing stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too, though.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like one of the interns here or something I'll think about, because I think that like I could definitely get her. You ever think about Rosie O'Donnell when you're doing it?
Good Lord.
No way, right?
Name some names.
Yeah, name some names of who you think about.
You know what Rosie O'Donnell would be good at giving?
What?
Really wide head.
Oh, that's funny. Does Rosie O'Donnell have the biggest head on the planet?
Yeah,
she really does. How much does her head weigh? Do you take a guess?
About her head weight?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that age-old argument, I'm not going to get into.
You're not even going to get into it.
Yeah.
I see. And she's on the new $100 bill. Did you see her picture? It's pretty wild. Wait a second. Now, this is fascinating because I don't know that much about you.
Who does he think about? That's what.
See, I'm old. You know, I'm like 33 years old.
Oh, that's real old.
I'm 42, dude.
Yeah, well,
I mean, gee, I didn't know you were. That's young.
But it's still fun, you know. I like having sex with my wife.
33, and how many times a week do you have sex with your wife? Be honest.
My wife's very beautiful.
Is she?
Yeah.
How did you get her before you were famous? Was it a difficult thing?
You know, I don't know. I was just a nice guy.
Are you really charming?
No.
Because you're a good-looking guy.
I'm not charming, but I'm just, you know, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And then she didn't know what she was doing, so, you know, we just...
You got married, like most people.
Yeah.
And you got married, and she's good-looking. She have a nice body and everything?
Yeah, she's very pretty.
And so what do you get her, like 2 times a week?
What's that?
What do you get her, 2 times a week?
Get her.
Yeah, get her. Come on, man. You're not that old that you don't know what that means.
2 times a week's a little much. You know,
That's a lot. You see, you're like me.
Yeah.
And it happens once a week. So I'm laying in bed with my wife yesterday, and I said to her, you know, let's have some sex. She said, Saturday night I'll come visit you at the movie and we'll have sex there.
Really?
Yeah.
She's waiting to come visit you.
It's Saturday night. Saturday night is when I get sex. Then I watch you.
That's like Archie Bunker or something.
I usually get it at 11 o'clock, and by 11:30 we're good. We're all cleaned up. We're laying in bed. We're watching Saturday Night Live. That's it.
So,
yeah.
So you have like specific days.
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do it spontaneously.
Spontaneously every
once a week.
3rd year.
Right. So you might actually, you don't know when it's going to happen. Boy, that's exciting.
It could happen anytime.
Yeah, wait another couple of years. You'll be down to a Saturday night. Does your wife at least let you go everywhere by yourself, or do you have to accompany her everywhere? Like after the show, when you go to this diner, do you have to go with your wife, or do you go by yourself?
My wife lives in Los Angeles.
Oh, she does?
Wow.
Oh, that's a great marriage.
Yeah. Well, I go back to Los Angeles. I'm only here like when I do the show.
Oh, really? But don't you have to be here to write and stuff?
Yeah, but that's only 20 weeks a year, and then the rest of the time I'm with my wife and kid.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, so you get a nice little break. So you were here alone, and Elle Macpherson's coming on to you, and you had a little affair with her.
Good Lord, no.
I don't know, man.
No.
You know, he's setting himself up as a challenge, saying it's hard to get him aroused.
Women like that. Do you hope each week for an ugly female co-host on Saturday Night Live so that you don't have to fall in love with her? Oh, man. What a...
All right. Well, this is exciting. Thank you, and welcome to the American Music Awards. This is exciting. I'm not actually in music, so let me introduce myself. To those of you who don't know me, I'm Norm MacDonald. For those of you not familiar with me, thank you very much. I am the biological child of Melissa Etheridge and Norm Crosby. So if you want to... Well, that's the big story in music news right now. Melissa Etheridge asked her friend David Crosby to be the biological father of her children. And you know, this was a new experience for David Crosby. Usually when David Crosby picks up a turkey baster, there's a turkey in the vicinity. That's right. He's a fat guy. But this is the 27th Annual American Music Award. It's the first American Music Award of the new millennium, and we're setting a... Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. And we're setting a big record here tonight. Three straight hours of ABC programming without Regis. So that's kind of exciting. You know? You know, before I did the show, I never realized how much work it took to put on a production like this. Check it out. They spent 2 months building all these incredible sets. They had to coordinate 14 live music acts. And most impressive of all, they had to find a seat filler for Jennifer Lopez. She's got a... What the fuck was that? Now, maybe you guys are right. Maybe she doesn't have a gigantic ass. I stand corrected. Well, it's been quite a year in music, though. Let's look back. A lot of classic songs have been covered this year, haven't they? Lenny Kravitz did American Woman. Dwight Yoakam did Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And Barry Manilow released an album entitled Manilow Sings Sinatra. And I'll tell you, it is a great CD, or as I like to call it, it is a great coaster. I like to throw my drinks on that. It's not a good CD at all. And you know, with everyone so obsessed with their careers nowadays in music, you know what I mean? Here's a kind of a nice story. Celine Dion is retiring from music to try to start a family, you know? And I think she's serious about it, because I just saw her backstage chasing David Crosby with a bucket and a copy of Swank. So I think she's serious about it. Well, we've got a big show, so let's get it going. Yeah. Here are our first presenters. As Dr. Fraser Crane, he's achieved stardom in TV, and with hits like Come to My Window and Angels Would Fall, she's achieved stardom in music. But they have one thing in common. They both love the ladies. Please welcome Melissa Etheridge and Kelsey Grammer. Thank you. We're back here to present the award for the favorite country album. Our Shadazy. An interesting thing about the name Shadazy. Do you realize that the name Shadazy comes from the Native American word for my sisters? It's kind of like that other Native American band Chumbawamba, which means thanks for that one song. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadazy, right here. Okay, folks, before we continue, I have an announcement from the management. Would the owner of a Glock 9 with the inscription "Too Puffy with Love" please pick up your gun? It's at the hospitality suite. Well, 1999 was a big year for Latin musicians, and Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker thinks they all suck. He especially hates our next performer, and has never bought any of his 13 consecutive #1 Latin singles or any of his 17 million albums he sold. So if you're watching now, John Rocker, be a good time to hit the can. For the rest of us, here he is, Enrique Iglesias. Yeah. Woo. That's a coincidence, because I did that song in a karaoke bar the other night. That's one of my favorite songs. I was just talking to Dre backstage. I don't know if he's a real doctor, but he did prescribe me some stuff. So I don't know. There he goes. And that leads us to our first special merit award of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, for nearly 30 years, our next presenter toured the country with his band, the Grateful Dead, playing guitar to sold-out arenas of tie-dyed hippies. That's right. Please welcome the late, great Andy Garcia. I'll tell you, it's nice to be back on stage out here. You know, I don't want to say my dressing room is small, but Tommy Lee just dropped by to visit. He shook hands with Carmen Electra. He blew out a wall. He's got a huge... Anyway. And now to present tonight's next award. Real singers, country music stars Trace Adkins and Montgomery Gentry. Thank you, folks. Exciting. I didn't know the Judds were back together. Did you know that? I just saw them. I just saw the Judds backstage. Yeah, you're big Judds fans? I just saw the Judds backstage chasing David Crosby around with 6 mason jars and a ham sandwich tied on a fishing pole. I don't know what it means. Our next presenters are talented young stars who became overnight sensations with their brilliant debut albums. And if I can take this moment to offer a little friendly advice, kids, whatever you do, when you put out your second albums, don't suck. Please welcome Tal Bachman and Britney Spears. Yeah, Savage Garden. That was great. He didn't seem as savage tonight as usual to me, but that might just be me. You know, folks, it's time for our next presenters, and for a long time there's been a rivalry between West Coast rappers and East Coast saxophone players. But tonight they have put their differences aside to be here. Please welcome Warren G. and Kenny G. Our next performers took their name from the nickname of their home state. They picked Lone Star because the other nickname for Texas was already taken by that other band, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, Lone Star! Well, you all know our next two presenters. When he was on the show Silver Spoons, he went by the name of Ricky. But now he's all grown up on NYPD Blue, and he prefers to be called Big Ricky. She is an exceptionally gifted singer and songwriter by the name of Amy Grant, although she also prefers to be called Big Ricky, oddly enough. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Big Ricky Schroeder and Big Ricky Grant. Thank you, folks. I'm really happy to say the 90s Artist of the Decade Award for me to present. I have been a huge country music fan my entire life, and I'm a big fan of this guy. In case you don't know, there's been no need for voting on this one at all. The record stands by itself. Look at these statistics. The fastest selling artist in history. 4 albums, sold more than 10 million copies each. Over 95 million albums sold in all, more than any other American recording artist. By acclamation, the 90s Artist of the Decade, Garth Brooks. Together 3 of the hottest top 10 singers, and we put them together on this stage to participate in a bare-knuckle fight to the death. Here are Tyrese, Jessica Simpson, and Julio Iglesias Jr. All right. That's it, folks. Good night. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here, you know, and I was asked to host the ESPYs this year. Yeah, hi, that's my name, Espen. When I was asked to host the ESPYs this year, folks, I said yes immediately for one reason and one reason only. This show has interns. I'll be having little improper relations backstage a little later. But man, it's great to be here at the 6th annual ESPY Awards. Hard to believe, huh, that the ESPYs are 6 years old. Although Anthony Mason swears they're 18. So. Yeah, he'll be having sex with the ESPYs in about 12 years. So. I was a little late here tonight. I took the cab to the theater, folks. And I don't know if you've ever been in these New York City cabs, but I got one of those cabbies, couldn't speak English, you know. Saw his name there on the dash. I couldn't even pronounce it. I think it was something like Hideki Arabu. I'm like that. Araba's been having some trouble, man. They fired his translator. Steinbrenner fired his translator. And people see that as cruel, you know, but I don't know, you know. I mean, if you're not doing well in Yankee Stadium, you know, do you really need a translator? Do you want that, you know? You know? Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck. You should go back to Japan, you dirty foreigner. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to pitch over here. It's great to be here on ESPN. I love sports, man. Man, you can see sports on ESPN you don't see on other networks. You know, like kickboxing. That's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking. This seems kind of immature. Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack. Hey, have you heard about this? Ted Turner and NBC plan to start their own rival football league to compete with the NFL. And not much known about the specifics of this new league, except for this, it will suck. They know that. So they might have trouble, you know, getting advertisers when we know it will suck. And of course, congratulations to the Denver Broncos for winning the Super Bowl. How about that? Denver did great, you know. There he is. I love the Denver fans, you know, because for one thing, they don't wear food on their heads. That's nice. And they had a wild celebration in Denver after that Super Bowl, man. And now city officials expect an even wilder celebration if the Nuggets win 10 games this year. They say they're going to... say the whole city's going to go nuts. Yeah, the Nuggets are having a bad year this year, man. Matter of fact, they're making a film about the team. They got a pretty catchy title. It's Black Men Can't Jump Either. Well, NBA All-Star Weekend over. That was exciting, man. The East beat the West. Jeff Hornacek won the three-point shootout. Houston's Clyde Drexler and Cynthia Cooper won that exciting two-ball thing. And Charles Barkley won the throw a guy through a plate glass window contest. So that was quite a game, you know. I mean, you know who impressed me the most yesterday was Kobe Bryant. Unbelievable. This guy's amazing. 19 years old, the youngest starter ever in the All-Star game, and he played so well that today he was named spokesman for NBC's new public service campaign called Screw It, Who Needs College? Of course, the biggest story in basketball, no question about it, Michael Jordan may retire. Yeah, Michael Jordan may retire after this season, and it's terrible news for Bull fans, you know, but it is terrific news for golf hustlers. They're happy about it. But Jordan is very serious, though, about leaving. In fact, he's already called the Hall of Fame to make sure that his plaque bears his basketball nickname, Air Jordan, and not his baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. That would just be disrespectful, you know? Well, how about them Winter Olympics? They're finally underway, so we've got a lot of great stuff to look forward to the next 2 weeks, like hockey and, well, just hockey, really. I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, you know, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... Goodness. Well, there's all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight. I see Tiger Woods right there. Tiger Woods, how about that, huh? Yeah, he's up for golf. Of course, he's up for Golfer of the Year this ESPYs. And you know who I feel sorry for, folks, is the other two guys nominated for Golfer of the Year. You see these guys getting ready, you know? It's like, hey, honey, have you seen my tuxedo? No, not the good one. The one I wear when I'm going to get my ass kicked. Have you seen that one? Boomer Esiason is with us. Boomer. How you doing, buddy? Boomer, of course, will replace Frank Gifford on Monday Night Football next season. And Frank told reporters that this will allow him to spend more time with his wife and children. Then he broke down and cried for 45 minutes. So. And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice. Folks, before we can begin handing out our awards tonight, we must...
Live from Toronto at the Sony Centre, it's the 4th Annual Canadian Screen Awards with your host, Norm MacDonald, featuring Martin Short, Jay Baruchel, Rick Mercer, Emily Van Camp, Eugene Levy, Jacob Tremblay, Catherine O'Hara, Christopher Plummer, and Donald Sutherland. Now, please welcome Norm MacDonald.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Norm MacDonald, and I could not be more excited to be here. You know, when I was asked to host the Canadian Screen Awards, I called my good friend Chris Rock, and I said to him, I've got some great news, Chris. I'm going to Canada. And he said, I've got some great news, too. I'm hosting the Oscars. What are you doing in Canada? And I said, you know, visiting some family, friends. The usual. We're coming to you live from Toronto, or as you cost-cutting location scouts call it, New York City. Look at this beautiful crowd, though. Isn't it something? Dashing men. That sounded like Bobo. Look at this beautiful crowd, though, folks. Dashing men. Dashing men in black ties, sophisticated women in elegant gowns, and tonight, all of you are going to hear the word shits about 100 times. Never has there been such an assembly of great Canadian talent in a single location that did not have to be Zamboni'd first. Tonight, the CSAs are being seen in over 50 countries. Isn't that exciting? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Don't wait. I misread that. 50 counties. And a couple of regional municipalities. We are here to celebrate nominees for their wonderful work in Canadian cinema and television, which is a lot like celebrating the Northern Lights. You probably haven't seen them, but you've heard they're amazing. You know, we were worried people would record the show and they'd just fast forward to the good parts, as is the want these days. So we have put a plan in place to prevent that from happening. We have decided to not have any good parts. I'm doing my part. But no, that's not true. We have a lot to celebrate in our industry. Amongst the TV shows nominated tonight are Amazing Race Canada, Big Brother Canada, Master Chef Canada. Where do they come up with these ideas? We are honored to have the great Christopher Plummer here tonight. Mr. Plummer is nominated for Remember, the story of a man who at age 90 sets out to kill the Nazi who murdered his family. And I thought I left things to the last minute. But it's been a wonderful year for Canada. It's been a especially great year for one little guy, one adorable little Canadian youngster who's already accomplished so much. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Justin Trudeau. Hasn't he had a wonderful year? No, I'm kidding. I was misdirecting you. I'm talking about Jacob Tremblay. Jacob is up for Best Actor, and he will be competing against the aforementioned Christopher Plummer. You know, Jacob is only 9 years old. Christopher Plummer, 86 years old. But they have a couple of things in common. One, the deep love of their craft. And two, they are both up way past their bedtimes. And tonight, the Lifetime Achievement Award will be presented to Mr. Martin Short. It's the Academy's way of saying, thank you so much, we've had enough. Well, Don Rickles. As a friend, it's over. Ingenue Ellis is here tonight. Absolutely. She has done some powerful work in the Book of Negroes, which tells the story of a woman confronting the tragic legacy of racism in 18th century America. Oh, did I mention on the show Sunnyside I play a talking manhole? That doesn't mean it's better, it's just different. Ross of Sutherland is here, nominated for his role in River. And he is here with his iconic father, Donald Sutherland, who has come to support his son. Not to compete with him like someone I know, Eugene Levy. Oh, and Catherine O'Hara is here tonight, the wonderful... That's a beautiful dress you have on, Catherine. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But Catherine is an actress of extraordinary range for her many characters on SCTV, of course. to her work in Best in Show and Home Alone, and perhaps her most remarkable performance to date as the title character in the Book of Negroes. I lost $1. It's been a busy weekend getting here. We lost an hour. As you know, daylight savings time went into effect last night. I give it 6 months. And I'd like to take a brief moment, as all moments are, I suppose, to thank my writers. You know, the writers are so specialized these days. There's a joke writer, he gives you jokes. There's a gag writer, he gives you gags. There's a head writer, he gives you... What I'm saying is things are they're specialized. Well, we're going to start the show, but I was... It hasn't started yet, you didn't know. I saw a wild look of alarm cross your eyes. But I was backstage yesterday, and we were doing rehearsals, and I asked, what is the statuette called? And they said, it's called the Canadian Screen Award. And I said, well, that seems kind of dull. Like, what? That's the name of the award? And they said, well, we've been bandying around different names, but none of, they said in Canada it takes a long time to get stuff done and stuff. But one of them they mentioned was the Candy. And I think John Candy, I mean, who doesn't love John Candy? So of course, the statuette should be called the Candies. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you are a presenter, ignore the teleprompter and say, the candy goes to. And if you are lucky enough to win one, go, I want a candy. What do you think of that? Can you go along with that? Excellent. That would make us a better nation. I am not here to upbraid. However, I think I made it quite clear that these awards should be referred to as the Candies. A 9-year-old child knew. Are you so burdened with this preposterous technology? So I would like not to see that again. Backstage I was thinking how different things are since I moved to the United States. Now I'm in the United States. One thing I've noticed about films, I don't like foreign films anymore. They're all like artsy, kind of not my cup of tea. But when I grew up in Ottawa, by God, I loved foreign films. Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit. Do you remember that one? Here to present our next award, the Candy. And this will be the end of my upbraiding, I hope. Is an accomplished actor. All right. Hey, before we go any further, how about a hand for the band, huh? Good job, guys. George St. Kitts and the Candy Band. Who can take a sunrise? Come on, guys. Sprinkle it, but they can't. Well, whatever. Well, our next presenters are political people, and it made me think,
because I was just told Cape Breton Island, I don't know if you know this, but they are offering sanctuary to anyone that lives in America after Trump is elected president by a landslide. And I agree with this in principle, but why Cape Breton Island? I mean, can't I just flee to Toronto? Do I have to leave the fucking planet? I mean, I just go to Baffin Island while I'm at it. All right, now welcome to the stage, 2 Canadians. Oh, the candies are going great so far, aren't they? I would like to say to Eugene Levy that there's no reason to be ashamed of your son. My son only this morning punched me in the chest really hard. Listen, I have some good news. I just found out that all of you here tonight will be getting a swag bag. Yeah. Just like the Oscars. I haven't seen one yet, but why don't we take a look and see what you're getting? I'm going to call Megan, our golden girl, out. Megan, our golden girl? Hi, Megan. Come on out here. Ah, you brought the swag bag. Yes, can you hold it open? And then I'll take things out of the swag bag. What do we have here? A loose pancake. What else we got here, Megan? We got, oh, this looks cool. It's a CD, you know what they are, of Nelly Furtado singing all the national anthems. Torn from today's headlines. See what else we have. Well, we have this. Ah, yes, this. This is a bottle of Eau de John Cherry Cologne. It's for the gentleman in the audience. Now, what else do we have? Hopefully something a little funnier than the last one. Here. We have a 30-minute massage from producer Robert Lantos. Don't try to go for 50. You only can hit 30. And then what else do we have here? Oh, a curling stone. You know what these are made of? I always took them for granite. Last time I take a joke from Martin Short. All right. Megan, just do some house cleaning here. Having a hand for Megan, our Golden Globe. Natural mistake. Now, please welcome one of Canada's. All right. I want to apologize for running out earlier. I don't know if anybody saw that. But, you know, these things happen in live TV, and it reminds me actually of a maxim that Christopher Plummer told me many years ago. He said, before a live awards ceremony, do not eat a fistful of LSD. Take that with you. And I'm sorry, Jacob. How's Jacob doing? Hey, Jacob. Congratulations, buddy. This must be like deja vu for you, being stuck in a room for so long like this. All right, folks, please. All right. Listen, guys. For some reason, I've been told to stretch. So, oh, I've never tried that before. The show's over, folks. Good night. But for the first candies, respect, peace.
Norm, let me ask you something. Seriously, what do you do for fun? Like, name one thing you do for fun.
For fun?
For fun. Like, I'm going to have some fun tonight
I've got
or today.
nothing to do today. Here's what I'm going to do.
Is it spend money? It's not go
Golf.
shopping. You don't decorate the place. What do you do?
I guess the only thing I do is I like to read sometimes.
You're lying.
I do. That's what I mean. That makes me.
Do you
feel
play video games? Do you play cards? Do you
solitaire?
I read a lot of Mark Twain.
There's only so much Mark Twain, and
it's
you're
not much actually.
Yeah.
I'm reading letters from Hawaii now, something I've never read before. But I read like stuff that I read a lot of literature. And
Do you go to movies?
I reread it a lot. No.
Great. Now that you are an author, can you tell us a little bit about your favorite books?
Well, my favorite books of all time?
Favorite books in general, all time?
My favorite book is Search for Lost Time. My favorite American book is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I love Russian literature, and that's what I read mostly. Yeah, just the standard stuff. I don't like Dostoevsky, but I like the actual good writers.
So yeah, my brother still has it. If you see turkey coops going down the road, if you see birds going down the road, most likely came from Tipton, Missouri, those crates.
That's where you're from, Missouri.
Yeah.
Mark Twain country.
2 fathoms here.
Say again now? Is that a Mark Twain quote?
That's what Mark Twain, Mark II. Mark Twain.
Oh, that's
Mark
where the
Twain.
That's where the word Mark Twain came from.
Got it.
On the riverboat.
2 fathoms here.
Yes, sir. You know his real name?
Samuel.
Ellen Claiborne.
No, I don't.
Or something like that, right?
He had it.
He had it.
Sam Clemens.
Samuel Clemens. Do you ever read any of his work?
Mark Twain?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the United States, it's required reading in grade school.
Well, sir, my son went to a school here in Los Angeles, California. And I don't like when they teach great writers minor work. I have to teach them the best work. Right?
Yeah.
So I went to the teacher and I said, why are you teaching my son Tom Sawyer when Huckleberry Finn,
Life on the Mississippi,
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, drawing dust on the shelf behind you? Oh, it's because it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
It's racist. It's the least racist book ever. It's anti-racist.
Exactly.
Goodness gracious, the ignorance of people.
Well, what happened to the rest of the story? That was it? She said we can't do that, and that's it?
She said the next thing we're going to do is Toni. We're going to study Toni Morrison, and she's rad.
Wow.
This is a private school that I'm paying a lot of money for.
Yeah, I get you.
Now listen, Dennis. Have you heard about this Huckleberry Finn thing?
I heard something about they wanted to take the N-word out, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to bring it up before I forgot, and then we'll get on to my my project.
All right. Do you have any observation on it, any tweak on it, or just the cognizance of the fact that they want to?
No, I feel it's a thorny issue.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't the whole thing.
No.
I thought you were going to go like, well, how so, or something.
Tell us more, Norm. Why don't you
I feel it's a thorny issue.
Yeah,
I'll tell
me
you why.
too. Why, Norm?
Well, you got Mark Twain, and you're talking about. I mean, for those of you who don't know, what I'm talking about. They've taken out the N-word, out of many of the books of Huckleberry Finn.
Norm, they've taken out.
And so you got a thorny issue that I think I have a solution to. Do you want to hear it?
Oh man, never anything more.
Well, the thorny issue is this.
Yes.
You don't want to take, Mark Twain, one of the greatest writer ever to brush paper with ink, you know, and change his words, for God's sake. On the other side of the coin, you don't want to have a young African American boy in school, you know, hearing that word out loud and causing him pain. So it's a thorny issue. But I figure it this way: you've read Huckleberry Finn.
You are so splendidly demented. Yeah, I've read it.
You know it's written in the first person by Huckleberry Finn.
Yes, I do.
And you know it includes the N-word.
Yes.
Therefore, you just change Huckleberry Finn to a black kid.
And everything's... It's like a rap song at that point, right?
Exactly. Everything's cool.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got a chance to check
David, on one time, this is a true story, and Dave, you'll attest to this. Bought me a beautiful leather jacket. Oh, that's right. Well out of my price range. Now, I'm no one to take charity.
You're doing like a Mark Twain one-man show. All alone in the back. He's constantly screwing with you on every level. Right. But his word choice is, he was like Mark Twain. He had this folksy, completely out of time. And I don't know if he was born 300 years too late or 300 years too early, but he's talking in a way, no one speaks like that. And you really appreciate the way he says things and his timing.
There was an audition. It was Stephen Colbert and Tracy Morgan. Wow. And so Stephen Colbert did, like, you know, he was in a suit and he had like he was so professional. He goes, now, you know, Geraldo Rivera, and he put a mustache and did everything was funny and well written. And then Tracy, it was Tracy's turn. And his entire thing was he played a character named Biscuit, who was a child.
Hi, my name is Biscuit. And my teacher, Miss Soto, said for me to read y'all a Christmas poem. This is it. The name of my Christmas poem is, This Is My Christmas Poem.
My name Biscuit. And then when I went, then that night we're at dinner with Lauren, you know, you have that dinner and he's like, what do you guys think? And I'm like, well, obviously it's Colbert. And everybody else was like, what about Biscuit? What? But then he succeeded, you know. He didn't, when you did that for a long time, he didn't succeed.
You started, everybody knows you got your big break on SNL. Do you remember your audition? Because I remember your audition.
How you remember?
Because I was there.
You was?
Yeah, you and I were both there in the final callback going to network in 1996.
I never worked with you. Oh, you didn't get the job. My bad. I'm sorry you didn't get the job. I'm sorry. Yeah, I remember seeing you in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And I said, what happened? What did y'all do?
The ghetto was writing for Norm MacDonald on Weekend Update. Because that's what I ended up doing that for 1 month, writing for Norm. Yeah.
Oh, you was over there. That was good.
Yeah, first 1 month.
That was a good time.
The best story he told, I said, what was your most, like, secret fun thing that happened at SNL that, like, you know, like, what was some inside shit? And he goes, Smigel and I, Robert Smigel. If you don't know who Robert Smigel is, he's Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. He's the voice and the genius behind that. Smigel's a fucking phenomenal genius writer and comedian. He goes, Smigel and I, we used to write sketches for Tracy, because we knew Tracy Morgan. We knew Tracy, you know, he was bad in table reads. He couldn't read for shit. You know, he's a fucking stumble through words, you know? So one time we wrote this sketch that we knew was going to tank. Lauren hated it. And we showed it to Tracy anyway because we knew he had trouble reading. He had someone helping him read. He had bad time with S's. So we wrote this sketch about this guy who's like a gay animal handler named Brian Fellows. Do you remember that sketch?
Yeah.
Brian Fellows?
Brian Fellows spent 4 years in Thailand as a volunteer for and later director of the Southeast Asian Animal Rescue Project. He subsequently served as Director of Animal Operations at the San Diego Zoo and Undersecretary of the Interior for Wildlife Management.
Brian Brian Fellows, Brian Fellows, Brian Fellows, Safari Planet.
And he goes, yeah, if you look, the best part for us was it was Brian Fellows, apostrophe S, Safari Planet. It was 3 S's in a row is the sketch that we pitched. So in the room, even though the sketch was bad, we knew Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And we knew we would crush in the room. He goes, and everybody lost it. The sketch, he was like, the sketch was terrible. But Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And Norm goes, and he goes, that is the funniest thing. We used to fuck with Tracy all the time.
I'm Brian Fellow! Yes, I'm well aware, and I didn't mean to insinuate anything by that. I apologize. Oh, that's okay. Let me tell you, I once saw a video of a monkey washing a cat. That's crazy! Okay. All right, this is nuts. You have clearly overstated your credentials, and I'm wasting my time here. I'm Brian Fellow. Good, go. And take that monster with you and tell him to stop smiling at me.
Guy that likes games. Here's a game that I thought of today. It's called Talk Your Way Out of It. I'm going to give you a situation that you're stuck in, and you're going to need to talk your way out of it somehow.
Okay.
You meet a beautiful woman. She wants to have sex with you, but she wants you to wear an afro wig. And while you're having sex with her, she's screaming racist shit at you. And then her neighbor opens the door and comes in. He's a black guy, and he's got a baseball bat.
All right, so I agree to do it.
Oh yeah, you want to have sex with her, so you're
I'm doing it.
You're willing to wear the black African wig, and she's screaming horrible racist stuff. The guy walks in. He's black, and he's got a baseball bat. He's very angry.
He walks in coito, like while we're doing it.
Yeah, her door wasn't fully locked, and the yelling was so loud. He could hear you guys from next apartment. He could hear her yelling the N-word and, fuck me. And
I got you.
And so
how do I talk? You want me to talk?
Now, you got to talk to the black gentleman who's got the baseball bat and talk your way out of this situation.
Okay. Hey, bro, let's kill this honky bitch.
So you just commit to black. You just go,
yeah,
I'm with you.
Come on, man, you and me, jive turkey. When I did my first comedy festival thing, that Montreal thing.
What year was that?
Fuck, I don't know.
Like 87?
Yeah, I don't know dates.
Yeah.
But it was around there. And
how long had you been doing comedy at that point?
6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was Canada, so we got a home
so that was like
court thing.
In American years, that's 4 years?
No, I'm saying because the Montreal Comedy Festival was in Canada, we had a quota to fill. You know, I would never have gotten on it if I was in the States. But so I got my 5 minutes, just wrote. That's the way I used to do comedy. I'd memorize every fucking word. And so I had it all figured out and shit, right? And so then I go there, I meet Sinbad, right? So I didn't know who Sinbad was. And he goes, he's completely relaxed. I'm all thinking about
some sort of one-piece outfit.
He did. His hair matched his shirt.
Yeah.
And they were both orange.
Yeah.
So then he said, he was just so relaxed, and he said, hey, let's go. I got to get some socks. So we go to this fucking store, right? When we first go into the store, there's no one there. It's a small store. So there's no one there. The lady's in the back.
Yeah.
So the lady takes a minute to come out.
Yeah.
And he's like, where's that lady? You know, there's nobody here, you know? And I'm like, yeah. And so he comes out, he gets his fucking socks. Nothing happens, right? So then that night at the gala, I do my carefully constructed material.
Yeah.
Sinbad comes out. He goes, what the fuck is going on? And he doesn't swear. He goes, what's going on with these stores with socks? I'm like, holy shit. And then he's like, you go in the store and there's no one there. And then people are agreeing with him. I'm like, what? It didn't make none of it made any sense except that he destroyed and I didn't. That's when I realized that I was missing a whole bunch of stuff, because I guess at first you think you're good and stuff like that.
No, you are good, and I think that the fact is, really, if you were to look at it in another way, that if people are able to do an impersonation of you, that means you have a defined style. Whereas, like, I guarantee you there's not a lot of people that can do Sinbad, though you did just do a pretty good one.
I was trying to do it as unracist as possible.
searching for what's missing, but the answer.
One time on Def Comedy Jam, the guy goes, you got the do-rag? He goes, you know, I'm fucking my woman, you know, and I don't want to answer the phone. Oh shit! It could be a job, and you know. And then, you know, after you take the do-rag, you wipe off your dick with the do-rag. And I'm like, no, I don't do that. But everyone in the audience is like, yeah, we all do that. We all wipe our dicks off. The only guy I can really do is Richard Nixon.
Well, that's you're over. Yeah, I see that.
But I can do an exact Richard Nixon.
Okay.
And I can only do one thing.
Okay.
But he's being interviewed by David Frost.
Right.
And, you know, they made a movie where they pretended David Frost won,
Nixon.
But in the real tapes, Nixon won, you know, clearly.
Right.
But anyways, it was very funny because Nixon would use the ridiculousness of Watergate against his interlocutor.
Right.
And so at one point, David Frost says now when Howard Hunt and G. Gordon Liddy broke into the Watergate Hotel, they were wearing wigs and listening devices. And Richard Nixon goes, well, I suppose you could say they were wearing listening devices, or perhaps you'd call them hearing devices. And wigs. Only thing I can do.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So what I was going to ask you to do, the Nixon Watergate, I have to hear that again.
I would do it because I love doing Nixon so much. David Frost is interviewing Richard Nixon.
Right.
Because Watergate was so ridiculous, Nixon would use that for his own benefit. So at one point, David Frost goes, now, Mr. Nixon, when E. Howard Hunt and Gordon Liddy entered the Watergate Hotel and broke into the room, at that moment, they were carrying listening devices and wigs. Richard Nixon goes, well, I suppose that they were carrying listening devices. Perhaps you could call them hearing devices. And wigs. Never stop work, but that might be a blessing.
I won't stop working.
You know, you're going to retire.
No,
and as Nixon said, drink too little, think too much.
Is that a Nixon quote? All right.
Yeah. Well, he said the unhappiest people he knew.
Oh,
you know,
that makes sense.
Said people think it's wonderful to get a car, but and if you had 2 cars, wouldn't it be wonderful if you had a golf membership? Well, wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever? But for those of us that know, the unhappiest people I know are the ones that drink too little. I mean, drink too much, think too little, play too much bridge. Anyways, we're straying.
What's that from?
I had a look at your Twitter feed. First of all, what do you like about Twitter? Because you're pretty good on it.
I like Twitter because you can just think of stupid things and then immediately force them on people.
What was?
I didn't know you could do a bunch of stupid things. I did because Twitter came out, I guess, a long time ago, and I thought it was people like celebrities going, "Hey, I'm eating an egg over at this restaurant, an egg restaurant or something." You know? That's what I thought it was about. So I said, "Well, that seems stupid." But then my buddy was telling me, "No, you can just write stupid jokes," and and so I do that. And then the fun part is you read the comments and everyone hates you.
Well, what was the line you had about Gaddafi?
Gaddafi was the poisonous tyrant Muammar Gaddafi, the psychopath, is missing. Geez, I hope he's all right. Sometimes people get mad at me for a tweet. It's bizarre. And sometimes it's like a real, benign one. You know, that's when they're usually the most mad. And I remember one time, I just had watched Soylent Green, you know?
Yeah.
So I tweeted, I didn't know Soylent Green was people. Like, I've watched that movie like 10 times. And a guy just told me Soylent Green was people, you know? And people got so mad, like everybody's typing, they're like, what are you, an idiot? Of course it's Soylent Green is people, you know?
Here's another tweet. You said, I'm going to die one day. That's what really kills me. And
that's a good tweet.
That was one of yours.
I like that one.
Academy Awards were on, so I said, oh, fuck, I'll just watch the Academy Awards and I'll tweet all the time, all the way through the Academy Awards. And it was so fucking fun.
You liked it.
Oh, my God. It was like
Were you vicious to the people up there? Did you find the Academy Awards boring?
They were the worst fucking Academy Awards ever.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
And did you write that? Were you honest with the people?
A couple of times, like, I was like, I had a couple of ones that were maybe mean. Like I said, I think I said, like, by the time this is starting to drag, by the time the dead guy montage fucking shows up, Kirk Douglas will be in it.
What was the line you had about Gaddafi?
Gaddafi was the poisonous tyrant Muammar Gaddafi, the psychopath, is missing. Geez, I hope he's all right. Sometimes people get mad at me for a tweet. It's bizarre. And sometimes it's like a real, like, benign one, you know. That's when they're usually most mad. And I remember one time, like, I just had watched Soylent Green, you know.
Yeah.
So I tweeted, I didn't know Soylent Green was people. Like, I've watched that movie like 10 times. And a guy just told me Soylent Green was people, you know. And people got so mad, like everybody's typing, they're like, what are you, an idiot? Of course it's Soylent Green is people, you know?
Here's another tweet. You said, I'm going to die one day. That's what really kills me. And
that's a good tweet.
That was one of yours.
I like that one.
I don't know what it is with that voice of yours. When I read your tweets, everybody that I talk to also reads them in Norm's voice. And it makes it that much funnier. Everybody started, during the Oscars, we all start tweeting our shit during the Oscars, past Oscars. And one of my buddies, Travis, actually retweeted and said, you got to follow Norm MacDonald. I'm like, I didn't even know you were on or shit, so I started following you. And they were hilarious. Like the funny thing, when are you going to thank the computer? Every fucking tweet. When are you going to thank the computer? Just shit like that is stuff that no one else was tweeting. It's out of your mind shit.
I just found out about that Twitter shit.
It's great, and you got so many followers really quickly, and didn't have to pull a Charlie Sheen with it. It was just funny shit, man.
But when you go to hit the send, you fuck for a second. You go wait, like because it's just off the top of your head,
and it's right there, yeah. And
I don't do drugs or alcohol, thankfully, because I'm sure guys could really fuck up and say bad things.
They have.
Norm's tweets, like some of them are not supposed to be funny. They're like profound, like poetic.
I deleted a lot of that because I'd read my responses. They go, "You fucking asshole, you're funny." I'm like, oh.
That's just it. You can't stop being like, if you're funny, and then you got like a serious comment. Like I would tweet some ridiculous shit, but then I'd go like, Obama gave a speech. Let me give a little feedback on what I believe Obama. You racist, fucking conservative, fucking rich motherfucker.
Some people too, fucking. Think it's serious. Like I tweeted one that I said something, I don't know. I said like my father was brutally murdered last week, and it's only now I can look back and laugh. And then these people would fucking answer. They go like, "I'm so sorry." Like closure takes a while. So I had to go. No, it was a joke. That's cool.
How does anyone read that and not, especially from you, and not think it's a goddamn joke?
So
people are so stupid. That's something this whole thing has opened up, where you're kind of communicating with people you never would talk to or meet that don't understand what a sense of humor even is. So the responses you get sometimes like hey, I was like, hey, God, it's spring, but I'm looking outside and there's still a little snow on my back table. At least you're alive, motherfucker. You know,
that was from a dead guy?
I'm getting tweets from the dead. I guess he had a loved one pass on. Perhaps a father that was brutally murdered a week ago.
I guess to sum it up, everybody's a critic, huh, guys?
Your special should have been called the voice of reason.
This is the Twitter award for Best Hall of Famer. Going real well. At Albert Brooks. I installed the stripper pole outside my house. Haven't caught one yet. Steve Martin to go. OMG, President Lincoln has been shot. Wait, whoa, my internet connection is so low. At Alec Baldwin, how many frigging times I gotta say it? 27, she's 27, geez. That's the girlfriend. At Ali Yankovic, breaking news, Netflix splits off into a third company called Vernster, where you can rent nothing but Ernest P. Worrell movies for $5 a month. And at NORM MACDONALD, rest in peace, Amy Winehouse. We lost a true heroin addict today.
Hey everybody, it's me, Norm. I couldn't be with you tonight because I'm on location in Spain, where I'm tweeting in Madrid, Spain. If that's a city that's in Spain, then that's where I am. And but I'd like to thank National Lampoon for the good people there. What did they do? They took a once great franchise and burned it asunder. So I'd like to thank them, and I'd like to thank everyone that helped me win this award. Except there aren't any, because it was just me and a computer. I would like to thank the computer. What else? Let me think. It's pretty cool, you know, how far technology has come. Like you people are probably saying right now, hey, look, Norm has hired an entire film crew in Spain, and now he has filmed himself at great expense and has sent the reels over to the United States, and now, but no, you could not be wronger. I am doing this on a telephone. What make you of that? I know, you're saying, hey, Norm, that cannot be right. A telephone is used for telephoning. People take a telephone and they telephone other people and they say, what time is it there? Where you are with your telephone, because it's not the same time here. But that is just the sort of Philistine pig ignorance I've come to expect of you animals. The fact is, welcome to the future. That's all I can say. Welcome to the future. And I myself love Twitter. I follow everybody, you know. I follow Shelby Firo, who, you know, who has her amusing, is angst a word? I've heard that word before. And I direct messaged her once. That's a true story. And she direct messaged me back. And it was either her or Chris Hansen. Who knows nowadays? But you can find anybody on Twitter. And I enjoy Eddie Pepitone and his tweets, which look to me to be the longest suicide note in history. But thank you for the award. And God damn, I'm telegenic.
I was at a party with a friend and I noticed you first, and you returned my gaze, knew how to quench my thirst. You took me to that room like a dream come true. The dance you performed was just for me and you. Kisses on the neck, then you work your way down. Let yourself go for me all around town. Seductively stood before me.
No, but Andy's a fantastic guy.
I'm curious about something.
And when I say, you know, I used to make jokes at 12:30 about him being gay, that's absolutely ridiculous. But when we were starting out, I will tell you one story about Andy. This is what happened.
I'm scared.
I was working at Art's
the deli coffee shop.
Deli and coffee shop, bussing tables. So Andy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I got a way to make some money." I said, "What is your way?" He goes, "I'm going to become a male prostitute." Now I said, "Andy, you're not gay. It doesn't make any sense." He goes, "But a guy has to make a dollar." So I said, "All right, do what you want." You know? So he comes to me the next day and he says, "Hey, I'm buying breakfast." I says, "Why is that?" He says, "I made $450.05 last night." Wow. I said, "What on earth?" He goes, "Yeah, did some tricks there, you know, they call it." So I said to him, "You know, I eat steak and eggs. I eat, you know, expensive." He says, "That's all right. I made $450.05. And I said, "Well, who on earth gave you 5 cents?" He said, "Every one of them."
You're a horse's ass.
I was concerned. That's simple arithmetic. That's 9,001 dudes.
We have to have. I will take a break.
Then he says he's mature, and I think it's because he's telling my grandfather's jokes.
Stop it, both of you. We're going to take a break right now. For some reason that escapes me, there'll be more with Norm MacDonald in just a moment.
I know that in this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all I need.
For motivation, you still don't understand what our children are up against. Let me read you something that was posted on our message boards from someone who claims to be a member of a known pedophile network. It said this: he doesn't forgive, he does not forget, his group has over 9,000 penises.
It's over 9,000! Over 9,000! Vegeta! Over 9,000!
I meant to say Shudini.
Shudini.
It's no Ford Fairlane. Where is he, Shudini?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Do we have a copy of that
God
commercial?
damn, I wish we could. We're going to get
Because
one.
in it,
Brent's going to get a copy of Shudini. And what was it? Was it great?
Oh, wait, yeah, it was like a fake infomercial, right?
Yeah,
or was
no,
it real
it was real.
infomercial? Oh, my
People
God,
thought it was
that was
fake.
real?
And it's like, You know
what was
how
the catchphrase, though? It's like a shoehorn.
on a stick.
I can't believe that was real.
They would have these old people trying to put their shoes on and off and falling down, dead, you know, like, they a look of terror, and then falling to, and, you know, you go, oh, how many old people die from putting their shoes on. And, you know, some people, if you're cynical, you might go, well, why don't they sit in a chair when they put their shoes on? But it's just, your shoes on is a backbreaking chore. One wrong step, you could end up on the floor. And trying to get them off can hurt even more. Well, now they Shoe-Dini, the world's first shoehorn that lets you get your shoes on and off with ease. Shoe-Dini has a telescoping handle that gives you the reach you need so you can slip your shoes on without bending over. And unlike regular shoehorns, Shoe-Dini has a patented grip clip that holds your shoe in place while you take it off. Just slide it in and slip them off. Shoe-Dini works with all your shoes. You can even use them on sneakers. And just look how easy it is to put on and take off dress shoes, even when they're laced up. No more wrinkled clothes trying to get your shoes on. No more scuffing and damaging your shoes trying to get them off. Shoe-Dini is perfect for anyone with arthritis or back pain, especially those with limited mobility. Plus, the grip clip lets you pick up your shoes off the floor without bending over. So stop bending and struggling with your shoes every day and get them on and off the easy way. Get Shoe-Dini right this second. Come on, please. It's not just a shoehorn. It's a shoehorn
like
on a
erotic look
stick.
when she
So
pulls
call
the
now
thing
and
out.
get your Shoe-Dini for just $14.99. You'll also receive our Shoe Renewer, the one-pass clear coat refinisher that works on any color
on the
to keep
TV
your
while
shoes
we're
looking
talking?
fresh and
I
new.
know this
Plus,
is
it's
the TV.
great for restoring
They can
handbags
see
too.
us,
A
right?
$15 value
now,
free.
they're
But call right now and we'll double the offer.
But how
Just
much
pay
does a thing
shipping.
like that
That's
pay?
right. You get 2 Shoe-Dinis and 2 Shoe Renewers.
is this
All for only
national?
$14.99.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it has that hook that I like. Yeah.
Yeah. But seriously, what does something like that pay?
That wasn't bad.
Yeah. What about the time when the old product works, like can of Corey apple?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What, an apple core?
I'm the chef for the future.
Chef of the future! Chef of the future!
Ha ha.
What have you brought with you, Chef of the future? Who, pray tell, is this? By the way, you know that guy, who's that guy with the cowboy hat that defends everybody? Jerry Spence?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this guy, Jerry Spence, apparently is this big defense attorney who wears a buckskin coat and an old cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And that goes well. The jury's like that.
Yeah. That guy has to stand out.
Yeah, so you want to get that guy. So anyways, apparently at the end of every trial, you know, the guy, his client's always clearly guilty. You know? And then this guy, this is his final statement. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, he goes, I'd like to tell you a story about a young, foolish boy who had a bird. And he came up to a wise old man. He said, in my hand, I may or may not have a bird. No, and in my hand, I have a bird. If you say A, I will crush the bird, or perhaps I'll set him free. If you say B, I will crush the bird, or else I will set him free. It is up to you, old man, wise old man. You just say A or B, and we'll see what happens with the bird. The wise old man said, son, the bird is in your hand. Ladies and gentlemen, the bird is in your hand. Thank you. 2 minutes later, not guilty. Every time. That's all they remember. They don't remember any of the evidence. They're like, that bird story makes a good point there, you know. We can't risk killing a bird. So anyways.
I sometimes tell a story in very special cases about an old man and a smart-aleck boy and a bird. And this is a very special case. And I want to leave you with this story because it's an important story. It's a story about a smart-aleck boy who wanted to show off an old man and to make a fool out of an old man. And the smart-aleck boy had a plan as to how he was going to make a fool out of the old man. He'd found a bird out in the wilderness, a little bird that he brought to he had in his hand. And his plan was to go up to the old man and say to the old man, "Old man, what do I have in my hand?" And the wise old man would say, "You have a bird, my son." And then the smart-aleck boy's plan was to say, "But wise old man, is the bird alive or is it dead?" And if the old man said the bird is dead, then the smart-aleck boy would open his hands and the bird would fly off free into the forest and into the woods. But if the old man said the bird is alive, then the smart-aleck boy figured that he would crush it until all of the life was out of the bird and it was dead. He would open his hands and say, "See, wise old man, the bird is dead." And so the smart-aleck boy went to the old man and he said, "Old man, what do I have in my hands?" And the old man said, "You have a bird, my son." He said, "Old man, is the bird alive or is it dead?" And the old man said, "The bird is in your hands, my son." And so, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I give you and place into your hands the history of this country and the case of Lee Harvey Oswald. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spence. Mr. Buglios. They were just about to start, and Jimmy said, "Can I talk to you, buddy?" I said, "Of course." So we went back, and he said he was very broken up about it. He didn't want this, but he said, "I don't know what to do." And I said, "You think I shouldn't do the show?" He said, "It's just I have so much pressure from people, He goes, "People are crying." I said, "People are crying? People are crying?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "My senior producers are crying." I was like, "Good Lord." I go, "Well, bring them in and let me talk to them. I don't want to make people cry, Right. I didn't even know I had the capacity to make people cry, to tell you the truth. Right. So I felt so bad from that comment. And then, so Jimmy said, come back whenever you want, but I think it'll hurt the show tonight. And I said, "Well, Jimmy, I don't want to hurt your show. That's the last thing I want to do is hurt your show."
He said, Jimmy Fallon came up to him in the dressing room and said, people were crying. And he goes, "People are crying. Oh my God."
People are pussies.
Well, and that's why Norm
people
was
are
like,
fucking pussies. We don't need to accommodate you because you're pussy and you're crying.
Well, we have, it's like emergency fire departments. Now there's emergency torch departments. Something happens. People, they run out with a flaming torch. Let's get them out and go.
So he was literally at the show in the green room.
Because Jimmy went back to talk to him, Jimmy Fallon, and said, "What do we do about this, buddy?" This was the article that just came out.
The other thing I never figure out with all this stuff is Norm MacDonald comes on, does his sit-down bit, makes everyone laugh, and then leaves. is there anyone in the audience with their arms folded going, well, I can't enjoy this after reading that article he did several weeks ago? Or is there who would even know? Did you guys know?
No. And that was the other thing in the article. It said, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me, but one of the producers, I believe, suggested that Norm opened the show with an apology. And Norm goes, it's not my show. What do you mean I opened the show with an apology? So they were just trying to figure this out, and then they just canceled it.
Well,
yeah.
He's now my least favorite Jimmy.
I tell you, if there was just a
now,
remember
now? I don't think I said now.
You did actually.
I don't think I said. Check the tape. Check the tape.
Remember, the old instinct would have been like, "Hey, let's lead your segment with this. We'll handle this in a funny way, but you can still get in whatever you need to say if you want to say it. Then you do several jokes, and we get the hell out of here. We'll go for a nightcap."
Well, and that's what they said. They said, "Do we open with this? Once you're sitting down?" And he said, "Well, that kind of ruins the mood of the jokes. Why don't we address it at the end?" And they said it was just too much of a thing.
Listen, I'm sorry. Fallon is a pussy because Fallon ultimately is in charge.
He just had the thought, like, oh, wow, Jimmy Fallon took the pussy way out.
He is a pussy because I've been around, Jeff's been around. Ultimately, when the guy with his name on the show says, hey, here's what I want to do. I really feel like this is what we're going to do. You can kind of veto, override anyone. It's probably a little less back than it was with, back in Letterman and Johnny Carson and all that kind of stuff. But you can just go, I'll handle this. We can do this. Yeah. I'm not going to walk down the hall and tell this guy who's been in the business 10 years longer than me that he can't come on and crack wise because he was actually truthful when somebody baited him into a question, probably, for the Los Angeles Times. So he's a pussy. Whoever was crying should just be fucking shit-canned. You want to know about people who need to be shit-canned? You want that person on your crew? And by the way, no one was crying. And if they were crying, they're unstable. Yeah. There's something wrong with that.
Your appearance on Jimmy Fallon was canceled, and he said that his staffers were actually crying about the comments that you made. Were you surprised at that reaction?
Have you been surprised that you were there? They were crying that he was there.
That you were even there. Have you been surprised by this reaction?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have been surprised because, I never did anything. I mean, I spoke, but I don't want to be tossed in with people that actually did not crimes but sins, or I barely have consensual sex.
Oh, they all have consent. It's all consensual. When Mr. Happy comes out, it's all consensual.
As they say, all politics are local. Apparently, you guys have a little history because you used to be the manager of this is my trusty sidekick, Adam Egas. You used to be the manager of the Tempe Improv, the best club in the country.
Right. And I did 10 minutes once in front of them, and then I never played there again.
Wait, when did this turn into Crossfire? And secondly, I didn't ban.
Who banned me?
I think it was Howard.
Yeah,
Howard.
But you're part of the same regime.
No, all right. Well, technically, yeah. But
Howard was an old man.
Yeah, like Kim Jong-un, right, has a soldier, but like if
yeah, I'm just following orders.
But you're a part of the thing.
All right, I admit that.
All right. And what did I do?
You know who else said they were just following orders? Hitler.
Well, Stalin was just as bad.
Yeah. What did I do?
I think you took your pants down.
On stage?
Yeah, he got pretty naked on stage.
Well, I wanted to prove a point. I said that skin color is only that's your skin color, and we're all pink on the inside. So I showed him my butthole.
I remember now.
Yeah, and that was my opener, and he didn't like that.
It's like Lenny Bruce.
It was a real opener.
I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go of everything in the past.
Black is great.
Black is great.
Black is fantastic. Right?
Yeah, I think black is fantastic.
Even though, they're not black anymore. But then again, we're not white, right?
Right.
We're pink like his fucking asshole. We're all,
Seen it.
We're all the colors of Bobby's asshole deep down. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like you could do that as a poem, like some slam poetry. That's what you should do, Bob. You should go on like
slam poetry?
Slam poetry thing
What do you mean?
in New York City. Well, they have these, I saw a wonderful play. A guy went on a trapeze over the audience. This was at the height of the AIDS epidemic, and he cut himself. His blood, his AIDS, his AIDS-filled blood went all over the audience. We never cheered because we were afraid to be politically incorrect. So instead, we contract AIDS.
But wait, you were at the show?
Yeah.
You were being sprayed with AIDS blood?
We all got full-blown AIDS within the
Did you get your money back?
No, we pretended it was good because we'd rather get AIDS than be called homophobe. But this guy said one of the most disturbing things to me. Yeah. He said he was very into the S&M, gay S&M scene, and he said he loved when guys with AIDS would fuck him. He said something like, when they pumped their death up my hot ass. I was like, oh, wait.
It's like a badge of courage, almost.
Yeah, it's real Stephen Crane moment.
Oh, man.
That comedian that would rape people at comedy club, in colleges.
Yes, Vince Champ.
They always said his great gimmick was that people would think who did it, and they never, because he'd go on to another town and another college, but when people say, what about the comic?
Yeah. Maybe the worst gimmick a comic ever had. I had a black guy open for me, and I got him into the hotel.
No way.
Nice guy, Vince Champ. His name was Vince Champ.
Oh, no.
I don't know whatever happened to that fella. But a nice man.
Arrested for rape.
Huh?
He knows. He knows.
Tell him your best story.
My best story was the Steve. You just fucking told it.
No, if that happened to you. He's a comedian. You were the Tempe Improv?
Okay.
What was your joke?
You had one joke?
It was so ridiculous. It was stupid.
What was it?
Oh God, man! It was something like don't take a shot from a girl at a bar because it looks ridiculous. It's never good. I think the punchline was, is this a Care Bear cum shot or something? It was really ridiculous.
Don't take a shot at a girl at a bar. I think it has to do with the Care Bears. It's like, what?
That was the worst.
I don't remember it. It was so long ago. But that was the gist of it, and that's why I don't do stand-up anymore.
You should open with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should open and close with it.
He can't even tell his own joke.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a good,
anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
I was at a party with a friend and I noticed you first, and you returned my gaze, knew how to quench my thirst. You took me to that room like a dream come true. The dance you performed was just for me and you. Kisses on the neck, then you work your way down. Let yourself go for me all around town. Seductive.
I knew this guy wrote for Three's Company, and he said, they'd always have beautiful girls. Remember that show?
Yeah, I love Three's Company.
So they'd have extras, and so they'd call them the bimbo of the week, and they'd take them out to the smokehouse. But John Ritter, he wasn't like a Lothario or anything, but you know who was?
Furley?
Furley. You got it.
Of course.
Mr. Furley. So he says his big line would be, he'd say to girls, he'd go like this, he'd go, I'm married, but it's not going well.
Oh my God.
And then he'd put booze in when they weren't looking, like comically, when they weren't looking away, he'd put booze into their booze.
Oh my gosh.
And then, but he'd go to a hotel in Burbank and have sex with them. And then one time the hotel owner asked, he had a big 8x10 he wanted to sign, so Don Knotts had to go to another hotel.
Oh my God.
It's not going well.
Not going well. Jesus. Mr. Furley, imagine that fucking wake up the next morning. You're some fucking saucy bimbo, fucking
the
ultimate 21 years old.
You're expecting Richard Klein at least.
Anybody, yeah.
Very least.
Jesus. Anybody.
Who's the
Susan Sarandon?
Mr. Furley, relax. Just take it. Oh my God, he's hyperventilating. Come on, give me that. Give me that. Take some air in. Take some air. Mr. Furley, come on. Mr. Furley, relax. No, don't hyperventilate. Breathe. Breathe. Mr. Furley, get some air in. Breathe. Okay? Okay, now, Mr. Furley, listen to me carefully. Well, thank you for helping me. He's had a relapse.
I'm told by Nick Swartzen that he's come up with a new impression for his act, known for his impressions. What is it again?
This is Mr. Furley talking to the 20-year-old girl he just woke up next to. Or no, he's in the middle of sex with her. I'm coming in your butt!
Oh my God. Well, listen, man. Hey,
your mouth is my toilet!